Good morning, traders. Welcome back. Of course, we got another big action day and already taking trades. And have you guys seen Tesla this morning? Just take a peek. We've been all over it right here on Trade the Pool. Going to talk, of course, about the action that's going on. And I even already took a short on Tesla. Hey, you got to be quick, but let's talk a little bit about it. Let's get to the action. It's Trade the Pool. What's going on, traders? How we doing in this market? It's another fast market indeed. Let's get right to the action. Of course, lots of stocks to talk about. We'll talk about the playbook. We'll take a look at the Tesla action. And boy, oh boy, what a rocket Tesla has been. And at least I can tell you one thing. This stream has been all over this move. Let's talk a little bit about that action right now. You guys can see it. Tesla continuing to push. Let's put this as big as we can here. You guys can see it. We've been looking at this long-term trend line. We were watching for it to kind of make that move, right? Even from the 27th on, we were kind of taking a look at this. This is when we started to really kind of break back above the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And we talked about how this inverse head and shoulder pattern would be so important. Once we get through there, the gaps to the left, we cleared that really quickly. And now we're all the way up towards this trend line. This is the exact look that we were looking for, traders. But now one thing I do got to put on alert is that when you get above trend lines, what do stocks love to do? They love to do what's called a throwback look. That could be a look towards 227 today, or maybe even back towards the 220s. So that's one thing that I'm looking at this morning as I start to see a decline. And look what Money Mitch did this morning. Let's take a look at that action. Going to go ahead and pull the chart here so you guys can see the action this morning. Taking a shot on Tesla. Yes, indeed. Let's take a look here at the action. And definitely got a little bit of some shake this morning with that 8 a.m. kind of action there. That got me out of the trade, but I should have still stuck into this trade. Would still be short on it right now towards the 234s, taking profits, but I'm all out right now, guys. I did get a little bit of a shake this morning with kind of the 8 a.m. numbers coming in, right? The off exchange kind of stopping, activating my stop and then triggering the limit. If not, I'd still be short from this. You guys can see it. I was coming after it near the top right here. So I could see the action this morning, topping action around the 239.80s, 239.80s. What's the rule of three for Money Mitch? You guys know how I do this. And we're going to do it to the 5 minutes to kind of show you a little bit closer of the action, right? So you had that one up, one down, two up, two down, three up, three down. It tried to go for the breakout, failed that 240 continuation, and that's when I started to get short. You guys can see it right here. Those were the attempted takedowns right here. I got 30. I went 10, 30, 30, got as close towards the 240 as possible, then was able to take some profits on the downside action, giving me a nice little cushion on the morning. Let's take a look at that cushion. I'm up about 132 just to start the day on a Tesla short, but also going to be taking a look, of course, at the swing trading action. Tesla overall, I could see this coming back here towards the 227s, and I could be upset about that this kind of trigger kind of hit here with this kind of off exchange data going through there. But you can see it. It's now down to 233. That short in the pre-market, that was as good as it gets, team. So I hope that you guys enjoy action like this. I talk about this. I put it up on my Twitter too, also, so you guys could see it in the morning. And we'll see what happens now as profit taking could come in for Tesla, of course, with this big ramp move, right? I mean, it was up there to 240 this morning. We'll see what happens once the open comes, but now down to 233.60. This would be another 100 win with 15 shares, guys. So definitely you don't need the biggest trades to go ahead and try to make a big trade there. But definitely today, Tesla continuing down there. The shorts not doing too bad if you got it at the top this morning. So we'll see what happens. Definitely you got to be quick if you're going for the shorts. I still view this as a positive stock on the long term, but for right now, it's made a run that's too big. So I had the cash and tried to go after it this morning. Hey, sometimes you got to wake up and play with fire in the morning. So definitely shout out to you guys. Pinkies on up this morning. Nice little cushion. Had a really good day yesterday. Bounced back really close to 400 day yesterday. So, hey, like always, traders, it's never going to be just one direction. Sometimes we will go in a red streak. I had a little red streak right there. I bounced back. Now I need to continue the streak, giving myself the cushions, taking small profits is actually working for me right now. So sometimes that will be an adjustment that I can make. So I'm trying to make bigger trades, quick profits, closer towards a what? Not even a 3-to-1 look, closer towards a 2-to-1 look or a 1-to-1 look. Somewhere in between there. 1.5 to 2 is what I would rather prefer, of course, because then my average and accuracy will have to rise towards, let's say, 70 or 80% to stay in the green. But we'll see what happens here, guys. Tesla coming down now towards 233s. This is probably where I'd be cashing it, guys. I'll be honest. This would have been like $100 with 15 shares. you go and you ring that register for $100, but not bad at all, man. We'll see what happens out there. I'm cautious today. The bears might attack. Yes, I do think that you'll see some pullback opportunities out in the market. Let's take a look at AMD, right? AMD pulling back here to the 163.20s. This is such an important stock, guys. And you guys know, I was looking at this yesterday. I had made a great trade in AMD on Friday, stopped out on Monday. And I said, you know what? You can't shy away sometimes, Mitch. You got to be willing to get back into trades. I've had plenty of trades in the past where the trade has gone well in the first tranche. I've taken first reward. Then the stock comes back. I stop out, but then I don't get back in near my entry when the stock comes back up towards that level. So today or yesterday, I said, you know what, Mitch, you've learned from this mistake, right? You've seen this mistake countless times where you don't get back in. A major one that I can tell you guys, just a quick story, is Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly at the 330 spotted. I was going in and swing trading off of that. And then it eventually did do that move at the 330s. But first it washed out at the 330s, came back down towards 310. Then it came back through 330s. I didn't buy it. And look where the stock went, right? So these are all learning experiences. But for me, AMD is one of those that I had to go and take another shot. Now the daily chart seems great. It has a bullish engulfing look. So the bullish engulfing look is this right here. Now, what would I not want to see? I would not want to see yesterday's low 156.70 break. Where am I? I'm at 157.80s. So I can give myself that dollar risk, looking for that to hold today, and really looking for a close above the trend line to really show us that green line. The same thing that we drew in Tesla. We're going to start taking a look at that outlook here. So at this point, this is the way I can view the stock, and I'm going to continue to watch to see what happens at this point. The bottom being that 156.80 area, the top being up there towards 165, 166. Really want to see a close back towards 170. Start to show you that yeah, you want to start coming up into this box and filling up here so that you can work your way back to these highs right here on the left-hand side. So if we can get back to that layer, especially up here towards this high right here, 174.55, that's going to really start showing that the green is coming in, the bulls are taking over, and we're ready to rock and roll in AMD. So that'll be the watch that I'll be watching on AMD. Of course, you guys see it, the swing not doing too bad right now. And then, of course, we have another major play on the swing account. We have Palantir. I'm looking for this one to finally break an important level, 26.44. Multiple times has it come to this level and turned around. Yesterday's high, 26.43. Get towards 27, start ramping towards 29 and 30s, and Palantir is going to be looking like it's just taking off, right? So we'll see what happens here. There is some overhead supply resistance towards the 29. So as we get closer towards 29 and 30s, I will be taking some profits, but looking for this to actually get hot and maybe eventually get towards the 40. We'll find out on Palantir. All right, what else is out there, guys? Mitch, will you take trades based on how good your coffee was? And yes, I will, man. Actually, I got some Puerto Rican coffee right now, so Pinkies on up, guys. And this is that nice little fresh coffee beans where you grind it up, you know, the fresh stuff. Let's get after it, team. Def Billy, what are you looking at? Nate, what are you watching today? I know you're a funded trader. What are you watching, my friend? You're bullish on AMD too? Hey, it's good to see it, my friend. We'll see what happens on that action. Let's get to the playbook this morning. We always talk about the playbook. AMD is our top play on the playbook today, so we're not going to review that again, but you guys see the full trade outlook right now. And where else do you guys get this, right? This is what I try to do is I try to give you guys my outlook. Of course, you guys don't have to trade off of my outlook, but understand the approach and how I go about it. That's really what I want you guys to learn from. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is out there. We got the run for 200 to talk about. So what's the run for 200? Well, Apple has recently made that run, right? It ran right through 200. I mean, this is the 200 spot, not coming back at all. Caught the 9 EMA and continuing to run. Now look at some other ones this morning. Look at Amazon. We were talking about the 200 run when it broke this 190 on the 26th. So now we're up there towards 199.77 right there for the 200 run. And Google is another one that I keep an eye open for. It's at 186, but something tells me that, hey, this wants to keep going and chug along towards the 200. So we'll see what happens there on Google, Amazon. Of course, Apple's been making that lift. And you guys can keep your watch on the top names to maybe continue the lift. I've talked about how the rotation has stayed in the other names, the top names, and kind of rotating around, right? NVIDIA can still go down, yet the Qs can continue to rise if you're going to continue to have Apple and you're going to continue to have Google just pushing through highs, Amazon pushing through highs, Microsoft just pushing through highs. So this is how you keep the indexes higher and the machines rotate out of NVIDIA. And then at some point, I think they'll buy the dip in NVIDIA and NVIDIA could go right back up to ramping. And at that point, you might see some profit taking in Apple, some profit taking in Microsoft, some profit taking in Google, right? These are things that I definitely try to focus on and not miss, team. All right, let's keep going. Shane, what's up out there? Diego, Nate, what's up, man? I live Kava. I've seen Kava. I had a Kava in Charlotte that I should have maybe visited. Man, is this the next Chipotle? Kava? I personally, it's not my flavor, but hey, to each his own. The one that I like that I've tried that is similar, there's a pasta one. It's Piada. Piadas is interesting for me as restaurants, but hey, you see Kava, that thing is being a rocket, man. And one thing that I would say to this one, right, is you can see it on the daily, how the 9 EMA continues to hold. When we start to get closes below the 9 EMA, that's when I'd be paying attention to because you could get a little bit of a pullback. But for right now, the time being, yeah, you keep approaching this high. You're trying to go back through the 96, 93, and it could go to 100. We'll find out. All right, guys, let's keep going. Jefferson, what's up out there, man? It's good to see you in the chat. I love to see some new traders out there. And if for any reason you tune in, but don't say hello, man, say hello. This is a friendly chat. This is a chat that can definitely support you. That's what we try to do as traders here at Trade the Pool, right? We're all trying to go ahead and get to success. I'm not trying to stomp on you guys. You guys aren't trying to stomp on me. But the truth is, you guys can flip trade. You guys can trade the reverse as what I'm trading. What I would want at the end of the day is what support each other, give each other ideas, and that's what this community is all about. All right, we'll see what else is out there right now. We'll take a look. Coal stocks is another area that I want you guys to take a look at as I start to look at these two stocks, HCC and AMR, which used to be really hot. I mean, this one was a complete rocket move up. And one thing that I like to do is look at patterns of stocks and see if they make patterns that are repeated. What do I mean by repeated patterns? So when you look at the history of a stock, you want to see, does this stock make similar patterns in the past? And you can see here, this one was in kind of this long consolidation period and ended up breaking up higher. Then we got this kind of flagging action also that ended up breaking higher, right? And now you're kind of having this next flagging action that could start to break higher. So I'll continue to watch to see what happens with this as we start to get a lift back in AMR. I think this is a lot based on what's going on in crude overall, but you can see it now. AMR is starting to get hot, got a nice candle yesterday, inside day. We can always look for pullbacks to that 316 if you're a pullback kind of player. So that's kind of the layer that I'll definitely be watching. But overall, this could start affecting coal stocks here. You guys can see an equally weighted index here as this starts to push higher. There's a bunch of names that I'll keep watch. BTU is one that I can watch for a move back through 24 and 25. I could also watch for another one, CEIX. So these are all different kind of players in coal. You got to know these. You can see how this kind of has that cup and handle look, right? Pull back to the 90 EMA around the 101 to 100. Now going back through 107 would be a really nice bullish look. So we'll see what happens in coal overall and seeing if we can go ahead and see if Santa Claus wants to bring some coal this year. Well, a little early for the Santa Claus run there for coal, but there's something that tells me with energy, we really got to keep an eye open for this move, because if energy makes the move higher, XLE, oil names go higher. I really want to continue to watch to see what happens in coal, because a lot of times when we get that oil move higher, we also get coal to make that move higher. So keep your eyes open for that. This is just something that I'm pointing to and something to keep in mind, right? I always like to give you guys industries and sectors versus just one stock, because when I give you one stock, that really doesn't help us, right? We want to be knowing what industry and what type of stocks are doing so that we can find edge. And why do we find edge? Because always remember that big money is going to need to separate some of their capital. They can't just go all in just Tesla. They'll go into auto manufacturers all around, right? And so for this being said, why not look to see if Ford starts to get a little bit better? Look at the chart on Ford. Why is Ford going up the way it is? Well, very similar action, because when you start to get the industry hot, it can start to move other players. So GM, Rivian has lately started to get hot. So you guys can keep watch to see what happens to these auto manufacturers, but this could cause a push. Even a stock that I don't believe in, like Lucid, look how it's turning around. Look how it's trying to prop a little bit here. Look how you're getting volume to start to come in. What is this move? Moves like that. The algos always try to move around. They're always trying to play the industry and sector moves, because if they can separate capital, they can minimize, diversify, right? Minimize the risk and give themselves the alpha potential, right? One stock leads, it drives, it creates the gains, and they're able to minimize risk by being in multiple plays. That's one way that the big money makes that money, guys. So smash the like for things like that. Jan, what's up out there? It's good to see you out there, man. Definitely a great trader to be with, man. And Jan, it's good to see you out there. I haven't seen you in a little while. What are you looking at right now? Palantir is my top swing right now that I have on. I'm going to continue to watch to see what happens on this one. I've talked about it. This is my favorite stock right now. It just seems like it has that AI, and AMD could get started today. I don't know. I feel like I could get that Tesla mode where it just makes a big move. Next thing you know, I'm seeing this at 180. One thing that's going to be certain is, since I only have 10 shares, 10 measly shares, right? I'll probably just be one in, one out on this position. So when I get to a point where the profits get starting to get above, let's say $100, $200, I'll just take the money and run. It's really going to be dependent on how the stock is moving and if it could start to hold 90 EMA on pullbacks after the breakout. All right, SBX, we'll see what happens there. Amir, happy Wednesday. It's good to see you out there, man. What are you looking at? Nate Trader, I have Rivian on my watch today. Great stock to have on the watch today, right? So continue to watch to see how Tesla moves. If Tesla can continue to drive, I'd be looking for those players to kind of get the lift. So Rivian, definitely in play. Not a bad one to watch. One thing that I would say on Rivian that I'll be watching is that it's kind of climbing up this 1 hour. I'd look for kind of like 1 hour attempts towards 14 to then recover back through 15. We'll see what happens on that one. All right. Happy Wednesday, traders. Let's keep it going. Noli, what are you looking at? Bullseye out there. There's some slippage. Where are we at? CNSP. Let's take a look at that CNSP. That's into the penny stocks. Actually, We'll hold off on CNSP as we get to our penny stock. Let's go to the Sunrise Report as we give you guys news every single morning. And you guys can catch the Sunrise Report, of course, on our Discord. We put it out all the time. This is giving you guys information in the morning to create your watch list. So Noli, like you out there in the chat, love creating watch lists on what's moving. What I try to give you guys is the information on why these stocks are moving, the catalyst, so that you guys understand really quickly in the morning, in about less than 5 minutes, you know what stocks are moving, why they're moving, and then you can focus, of course, on your trading action. All right, let's go to the action into the Sunrise Report this morning. It was all about the labor market that was coming in. We had some numbers come in this morning. We had ADP come in. Let's take a look at the SPY, and we got jobless claims, a couple of numbers coming in, right? Let's take a look at that action. We got right here, I'll just pull it on the screen. Initial jobless claims came in here at 238,000 versus 234,000 estimates. So jobless claims actually getting a little bit of a spike there. And non-farm payroll also coming in here, 150,000 versus 163,000. So the market did react off of that, but it wasn't a big reaction. We did get a little bit of a pullback. You guys can see it here as we started to pull back off the ADP number. We'll see what happens with this. One thing to note, though, today we will be getting what? We'll be getting the Fed minutes. So definitely focus on that, guys. That's going to be something to focus on. As we get the Fed minutes, we'll get more clarity on what? On higher rates for longer. I've talked about this since beginning of last year, right? Beginning of this year, right? I've talked about how you wouldn't get rate cuts this year, and I continue to see that path. The CME Fed tool says something completely different, but that's not the way I feel, right? At the end of the day, I don't feel that this was going to be able to hold on. Let's take a look right quick at the CME Fed tool. I always like to show you guys this. You guys can take a look at this yourself. I can throw up the link if you guys want to take a look at it. But right now, they're seeing at what? Well, they're seeing it at 93% current. So not the rate, the cut in rates, only a 6% chance to cut rates. But if you look back, this was even 1 month ago at 84. So it's going higher and higher for no cuts. And that's right now in July. If we take a look at September, or even November, right? Look at this, guys. November, what do we have? We have only 22% chance for it to stay the same. That's not what I see, guys. I see this staying the same all year, and then maybe next year we start to see rate cuts. But the economy has to weaken and weaken. Right now, it's super strong. There is no reason for Jerome Powell to cut unless he sees weakness in the market. And right now, he's just seeing it as, I can get inflation down maybe below 2%. Just keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. Remember, one thing that I'll tell you about the Fed team, and I talk about this all the time when I'm referring to the Fed, they love to play what? They love to play the game of extremes. So if this is the weight, right? They go from pure what? They weren't restrictive in the pandemic, right? They were supporting, they were cutting all those rates. They were completely flipped to the other side. And then they love to go all the way to the next extreme. So they're going to flip the scales and go completely restrictive and keep that going for as long as they can till they start to see things breaking, and then they'll start to cut. If they don't see it breaking, they can just keep it there. Why would they change things? This helps the Fed keep it at that high rate because they continue to do what? Keep those high rates, keep lowering the balance sheets, and that's what they're looking for in this move. So keep your eyes on that. It's something definitely that I'd watch. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. Come what may, there will be a big bull run in November. That could happen. That could happen with Trump coming in, but I think it'll be the actual opposite. I think you might start to see a quick down move. And do I think that this will last? No, it'll be kind of a quick down move. And then eventually, once we get those rates cuts, the stocks will start to boost back. But that's just the way I look at it. That's long-term talking. Let's get to the trading action. Okay, that's the Sunrise Report. Let's keep going, guys. There's Eli Lilly that had news yesterday. Of course, their Alzheimer's drug did get approval. I was trading these stocks yesterday. I was trading like NVS. Was still able to make another trade later in the day. But something tells me that with this Eli Lilly news, this is back in play to the upside. So I'm really not going to be trying to short health. I did see it start to crack yesterday, so we'll see what happens today. It's definitely a play that you can look at as I start to see mentions like that of what was said yesterday, Biden talking about lowering drug costs and things like that. That could still affect these stocks. Right now, I'm looking to see if Eli Lilly just continues to keep running. That's definitely a stock I wouldn't run in front of because it has multiple levers that it can keep pulling on. It has the weight loss. Now it has the Alzheimer's. And when stocks have multiple levers that they can pull on, these are the stocks that we want to be in, especially long term, and looking for stocks like that, right? So think about that. Do stocks have different levers, right? How does Tesla pull into this? Yeah, Tesla is the same thing, right? It's a vehicle play, electric vehicle, but now it has that AI, that robotics lever to pull. And I think that's what's causing the move higher. All right, let's keep going. Zap moving well also. That's good to know. And why is it moving well? Well, it's an auto manufacturer with Tesla doing well. It isn't going to probably do bad right now. I mean, look at Zap going. This is ripping in the morning. Thanks, Shane, for bringing it up. It's always good to see you out there, Shane. How's it going, my friend? All right, let's take a look out there. Jane, you have great educational skills. Hey, Jane, I'm always trying to give you guys the knowledge that I've learned. Really, that's the only thing I can do, guys, is try to pay it forward for you guys so that you guys have that bending of the learning curve and you guys might see some light bulbs go off in your head and then start looking into the topics that I'm talking about so that you can really have them in your tool belt. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there in the market today. Zap doing well. CNSP is another kind of penny stock name. Para is doing really well, guys. This is one that I will tell you right now, I kind of messed this one up. Yesterday, I almost bought the 1030, 1035 move. I was watching this, but I'll be honest, I was watching the boys also. So it's kind of hard to trade when I'm watching the twins at the same time. But right here, at this moment, this right here was the kind of the flip right here as it started to come back above the 1030 spot and then started to get into this 1040s. I started seeing the 1035, 1036, and it kind of chugged along right here. This is when I started thinking, man, this could be a good swing or maybe a ride to start seeing this get another mention of the buyout. And then you get the buyout amount. And then all of a sudden the stock has like a magnet effect to that buyout amount. Now, what was the news that we got this morning? CNBC reported that Skydance has acquired a 50% of Paramount's controlling shares for $15 a share. Well, you see it right now at $12.33. It got that boost, man. The news came in and it's right back up. So this could have been an awesome swing trade. Think about it. Even if you're taking it yesterday, even at the low, or maybe even at the open at 11, you're still making a great amount of money on this. This is a 17% move. And I think it's actually a really good idea of Para starting to look elsewhere for money, starting to look for deals. I think the deal is still not off the table to see Para join up with Warner Brothers, join up with HBO Max, and then make like one complete streaming package. Of course, how would that structure work out? That's a whole nother ball game for the long-term investors, but something to think about for the short term. Let's keep going, guys. I always like to give you guys some more news out there. And ARK Invest, ARKK, selling some Tesla. Of course, Tesla kind of making a big rip. So not the biggest deal that she's selling some Tesla. But what is she adding? She's adding more Palantir. And so that's one thing to kind of keep on watch. I will keep watch to see what happens on ARKK. But Palantir add, and let me see the exact amount. Looks like I'm trying to get the substantial amount. Hefty stake. I think I have 62,000 shares. Yep, 62,000 shares there. We're giving out there on Tesla. I'm looking for the Palantir ad there and the amount of shares, but for some reason I don't have it in my notes right now. I'm going to see what happens with the ARKK though, if this can start to run. Another stock in this that has been starting to get strong that I'll look to see if it continues. It just did a kind of a flip move is Roku. So when ARKK starts getting strong, I start to take a look at Roku to see if this can start to push. Also, Zoom is one of the top positions, right? I always watch to see what the top positions are doing. She also has Meta, Coinbase. So these are stocks to kind of keep on watch. TTD has been probably her best one. The Trade Desk, this has continued to win. I think this will continue to win in an AI environment. And there's Square and Moderna here. So let's see what happens with those today. Square is one that I'd keep on watch. That PayPal was trying to move yesterday. It started to move up, but man, these are definitely falling knives. We'll see what happens with these. All right, last one that I'll talk about on our Sunrise report was Southwest Airlines, as they have adopted a shareholder rights plan or poison pill to fend off the activists in Elliott's management, which is pursuing to oust, of course, the CEO, Bob Jordan, and Chairman Gary Kelly. So right there's battles in Southwest Airlines, and I can't blame them. Elliott management is trying to come in here and shake things up because Love used to be one of the best companies for customer service. Everyone expected them to be the best for a long time, and that has completely changed tune. We'll see what happens there in Love. Just to take a peek, Delta Airlines continuing to fall as we've been watching this one for a short below the 50s for the crack at 48, and it's continued to fall. It hasn't been a fast fall, but something to kind of watch. American Airlines is what gave me the outlook for these stocks to start to come back on a pullback. UAL is another one that's been pulling back. We'll look to see when these can catch the lift, but for right now, they're on that pullback right now, and nothing that looks sexy there. All right, guys, let's get to these penny stocks. CNSP was one this morning that was getting the lift. It's up there towards the 3. There's a lot of resistance right above it here. So I don't know if this is going to be able to keep going. I hate when I look to the left and I see it stop right at the resistance, because that doesn't make me feel confident that you can get above that 359 today. So we'll see what happens with it right now. It has made a couple of runs already in the pre-market. 1, 2, 3 runs, and this was that expansion run. So maybe we get one more lift into this as a double top, but I wouldn't see it as breaking that, at least myself, right? Just because of Elliott wave theory. So if you guys want to look into something today, maybe learn something new in trading, look up what Elliott wave theory is and how it works, right? Also look into how kind of the cycles work, right? You can look into this as maybe being that third run. This is that 1, 2, that 3 pullback, and then you're getting that expansion move. From there, we look for like kind of the ABC correction. We'll see what happens there with CNSP. Doesn't look too bad this morning, but like I said, it looks like it's a lot of topping action there. Automotives, medical here, getting a little bit of lift into the 130s. I don't know this one, but it's a medical device company starting to get the lift. 150 seems like it has that target right now. Look at that 140s. It's going. We'll see if it gets up there towards the 150s, but doesn't look too bad at all. I can take a look at some other names. If you guys have some small ones you guys want to talk about in the chat, we've talked about Zap this morning, how that was doing well. That has already pulled back here from the rip towards 285, back down to the 250s. This actually doesn't look too bad here for a little bit of a pullback opportunity off the hourly. The hourly would make that pullback look towards 245. So at least for right now, in the pre-market, if you like Zap, this doesn't look too bad for me off this kind of 245. Where would be my risk? My risk is where this exploded from, the 234. So somewhere in between there, I wouldn't mind it on a pullback opportunity if I think Zap is getting that move today, right? All right, let's keep going. We'll see a look at some other trades. Of course, we can take a look at some just in the scanners here. Let's keep going. DOYU is getting the lift this morning after they announced a special cash dividend of $9.76 per share, totaling approximately $300 million to be paid out at the end of August. So that's why you're seeing DOYU up today. We'll continue to watch to see what happens with this one. I'd be looking for hourly pullbacks to come back towards this kind of support layer around the 1480s, maybe the $15 spot, somewhere in between there, and then trying to work a little bit higher. We'll see what happens there on DOYU. All right, let's go taking a peek at the Tesla Dragon. How's that reporting and how's that trade this morning? Went down there towards the 233s. It wouldn't have been a bad little profit take there. Now starting to get to bounce. And it doesn't leave out a picture that the stock could go right back towards the 240, put in a double top there, maybe 241, and then start to come back for some profit taking. Right now, I'm not getting in front of this on the short side, guys. I already did. I already made my money. At this point, it's just watching to see when the profit taking comes into play and maybe scalps on the way ups. That's the way I see it. All right, guys, let's keep going. What else is out there? AMIX moving nicely on moves. Okay, could take a look at that one. AMIX, let's go. This is $1.41. That's that $1.51 that we just looked at. That's trying to make that move to $1.50. It went to $1.55. Now pull back. Well, let's see if this can keep running high. All right, let's go back to this day trade side of things. Forget those swing trades. Let them just continue to work. I'll see what happens with AMD today out the gates. It's such a trappy stock, but we'll see what happens on that one. Another one, on, guys. It's up there towards 3780s this morning, guys. So I'm going to watch to see what happens with this. This could be an opportunity, but it is trying to climb back. This could make its way back a couple of days. So I'm watching Nike today to see what happens if Nike wants to get a bounce. It's just been gone sideways for a while now. So you got to be careful because at some point Nike could have a bounce back day, and that could get the lift in the kind of the footwears and accessory names. So keeping a watch on that to see what happens. DEC yesterday eventually did go down and kind of break from the kind of the hold, but right now I'm watching to see what happens on DEC to see if it takes that next layer towards 900. Skechers has been really weak. There's still a gap underneath it to see that continue to break. And of course, let's take a look at the Chewy monster. Chewy's just been holding on. Yesterday, I was thinking about it. I was like, should I maybe look for a swing on this? Man, this stock does not want to go anywhere. But something tells me that it's not done with, right? It's that we're going to hear from Roaring Kitty again. So I'll continue to watch it. And what I'm watching for is big pops. Big pops can get me a little bit excited right now. It's just been big drops. All right, let's keep going. You sold CNSP too early, Bullseye. It happens, my friend. Left $60 on the table. Hey, leave that for someone else, man. No worries. As long as you get the chunk of the move, the meat of the move, give yourself a pat on the back. The one thing that can really hurt our mentality is, well, I could have got this extra. I could have got this extra, because it starts to get us into our mentality and we start getting greedy. The number one thing that I see that I was doing maybe wrong last week in my red streak, I was being a little greedy. There was multiple times I was in the green and up decent amount, but trying to get that full trade, right? The full 3-to-1, the full 4-to-1. Well, I've been a little bit more subjective in taking the green, and that's actually helping me. And the biggest thing is when I do that, I can't go back and look at it and be like, well, I could have made this much, or I could have done this one. Because the truth is, what matters to me is just consistent gains. That's all that matters. All right, should have scaled out, and that happens, Bullseye. We got to find ways to kind of maximize our equity, right, in the ride higher. So that could be a scaling out method, but don't get wrong. At the same time, it's okay if you just do in and out and you miss some of that move. As long as you can get that nice chunk, be happy, man. That's how it is. It's hindsight 2020, 100%. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's take a look at what else is making a move out there. I'm looking around, guys. I'm seeing this VVPR as one that's kind of making a little bit of a move. This is Vivo Power International. It's up there towards the $3 spot. Let's take a look at the 1-minute chart, see what's going on in this one. You can see how it's had a couple of runs, just pulled back to the $3 spot. Doesn't look too bad. This is also a solar play. What is up with the new solar plays coming out, guys? And so that's one thing that I'd take a look at. Definitely keep your eyes on the solar play. What is it? CLSR? Where's that other solar play? Let's go take a look at some smaller solar plays that have been coming out. And these are some that, I don't really know too much about. Complete Solaria. This one was making a move recently. Now you're having another kind of solar name kind of get that lift. You can keep an eye on these, but definitely that's one thing to kind of note. You're starting to see these kind of make the move. Even what's showing up here is Peggy. Even Peggy shows up there on that solar move. So Pineapple Energy, baby. I don't know, man. I got to keep an eye on these because something's going on with these solar names when they keep getting that little pop. All right, what's going on, Wisdom? Good day to you all and experience abundance. Yes, yes, pinky up, man, pinky up. There's only one way. Let's keep battling. All right, guys, we'll see what happens towards the market open. It's 9:13:45. We've had a great morning of taking a look into the catalyst, what stocks are moving. Now it's time to get into the trading action. You guys know what you're at. It's Trade the Pool, baby. Let's go, team. What are you guys watching this morning? Let me know in the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? I'll definitely take a look, watching to see what's going on in this market. But like always, guys, the biggest thing that I'll be watching today is to see if we can continue the rotation in tech, just continue driving higher. Of course, the minutes will be released today. That's something definitely to catch a little bit later today. That's at around the 2 p.m. slot, right? So we'll see what happens on the Fed minutes, see when that comes out and see if that affects the market. Really, I don't see it showing anything like weakness. I just see it showing that higher rates for longer. That's a narrative that's already out there. Let's take a look at some other action here. Taking a look at some of the ARM. That's actually been still doing well, man. ARM is at 162. I remember when this was trading at $50, man. This is when this stock IPO'd. And boy, oh boy, everyone was hitting ARM for IPOing at the evaluation that it did. But look at the evaluation now. It's more than 200% gained. And the evaluation is up there towards 163 billion and continuing to ride higher. So certain times when a company like ARM comes out, I mean, these are sometimes great investments. This has been an investment type of stock. It's made a huge run. We'll see if it pulls back to the 150, 142 spot. It's been holding in though. And right now, it could make that next step up. It's definitely in kind of that symmetrical triangle look, but you can see a nice little bottoming on Tuesday, 155.27. Keep your eyes open for that one. Intel, you're never going to go anywhere. That's the way it feels, at least. But there is this gap to fill on Intel. So maybe we start to actually make a move in Intel. I'll tell you one thing. I've played this one plenty of times, ridden it up, thinking that it's going to continue to break out, and then out of nowhere, it just can't make the move. Sideways consolidation on the weeklies for now, 2 months, similar to AMD. Let's see if it breaks that 2-month sideways consolidation. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there, traders? What are you guys looking at? Mara, we're taking a look into the miners. Let's see. I don't know about the stock market, but medicine. Lilly just already did a move. Look at the overextended, only reported a new FDA drug approval. I see a negative earnings report. The fall is coming. I'm a medical specialist. The problem there is that, like I've talked about, the levers, man, and the approval itself gives them the ability to continue to find revenue, right? Yes, it has made a huge move, and it could kind of pull back. But for right now, as long as that 9 EMA is holding, that light blue line, I'm not stepping in front of that Eli Lilly. We'll find out, Diego. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. The truth is, there's only one way to find out. And that's the trade, baby. Let's get after it. All right, guys. Mara, as always, let's go. Let's go, Eric. Let's take a look at the miners. Mara has been trying to make the lift, has just pulled back towards the 2150s. This is the chop, and the chop continues, man. The weekly just tries to make the move, tries to get the wick back towards it. A close back through this high, yeah, you're looking good. But if we just continues to chop, that's where it gets hard, man. And really, I'm not seeing Bitcoin make a monster move, right? I mean, it's trying, but Bitcoin can't break out or break down, really. I mean, it's kind of sideways here. But if it starts to break 60,000 on the downside, and we start to see that go back towards 50,000, like you see it right now, you see it back at the 60s. It started to come back to 62, has made multiple bottoms at this 60. Now, if we start cutting back here towards, let's say, 50,000, maybe 40,000 on the pullback, that could break these miners. And even though Mara looks bullish, out of nowhere, it could be right back down to 15. That's something that I'm keeping in mind. Like HUT. HUT is one that's been ripping through the roof that I think we could actually look for if we start to see a big red day in Mara or others. You can see an even bigger red day coming after this HUT. So right now I'm going to set the alert to see if this can start dropping through the 15. I wouldn't be trading HUT to the long side because it's already made this huge run. It's about a 62% move. But hey, if Bitcoin starts to go, we might need to go. We'll find out. Moderna just got money to do the bird flu vax. Oh, man. Bird flu vax. We'll see what happens on Moderna if this starts to actually change the tune in Moderna. It's definitely been out of favor, but look where it's at now. The 200 exponential moving average, which a lot of long-term traders will be looking at to maybe take a risk underneath it towards the left-hand side. So if you look at the weekly, right, you can see this kind of closing, a lot of resistance in this area. So this could start acting as support right around this area, right around, let's say, the 114 to 111s. So I'd be looking for maybe a small decline to keep coming into this. But you can see we've already hit that 114 once. I'd be watching to see if we can hit it again and then looking for this to turn. But Moderna, keep it on watch. All right, DJT up there to 3120s. We'll see what happens on Trump media. It can kind of continue to lift. This is going to have those pops and drops. That's why you got to be a little bit careful with DJT. If you get caught in a drop, will it come back? It doesn't always guarantee that it's going to come back to the 40s. So just be careful with swing trades and just kind of holding on to a position and all of a sudden just destroying your account. This number one thing that can happen in a swing trade account is you hold on to a loser way too long and it actually kills like 6, 8, 10 positive trades. That's what we don't want to be doing as traders. All right, hard work to make a list today. Dell, TLT, Tesla, maybe KWeb. Noli. Well, today's one of those days that maybe we sit back, Noli, and just kind of watch the show. You know, one thing that I've been noticing you trying to do, Noli, and this is good for traders out there to talk about, right? We got about, got about 4 minutes left, not about 10 minutes left here, 9 minutes, 9.5. Noli, I think it's important, right? You've been trying to do more of this in-out approach, right? Come into the market, nail some trades, get out of the market. Well, on days where you're not seeing so much on your watch list, it could also mean, hey, maybe traders are taking a break today. Don't forget it, right? What's tomorrow, guys? The best holiday in the United States, guys. July 4th, celebrating the independence. Light those fireworks, right? Well, keep an eye out, guys. It could be a little bit of a slower trading day because of that. There's still going to be some stocks moving, but there's one thing that's certain is sometimes it's okay to hit the brake pedal and say today might not be the day. Let's keep going, team. Hold the bag. Hold the bag. Yeah, you don't want to hold the bag, man. I still have a bag. You guys want to know my bag? This is one that I don't even look at, guys. It's one that I put in. I don't even look at this anymore. I view this as money that doesn't belong to me anymore. This is Genie, guys. Genie's my bag, guys. I've had this bag for so long. Got caught in the SPAC days on this one. I'm up towards 11, but man, you guys can see it. I don't think I'll be able to get this bag back. So we'll see what happens on Genie. If one day it does give me my bag back, but until that day, I'll tell you one thing. Genie, I don't even look at you anymore. One day, hopefully, you get bought out, but we'll see what happens on it. Always going to be transparent, team. We all got bags. Let's keep going. All right, let's see what's out there. Future day trader, what are you looking at this morning? Let's take a look at the action. All right, well, normal day in Finland tomorrow. Yes, same as the days between Christmas and New Year's. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're in Finland, just enjoy the day, man. A day off is a day off. Go have a good time. All right, let's take a look around. Let's see what else is making a move this morning. Of course, Para was up there a pretty good amount, but they're towards the 1240s. I'm taking a look at Tesla. Let's go to the Zap trade. That Zap trade, we were looking at for a pullback opportunity. And boy, oh boy, back to 250, back up to the 275s. Doesn't look too bad. It didn't get to the 245. I would have tried to get that entry closer towards the 245. Just my outlook. But can also watch to see what happens in 4 day, right? Stocks like this, they get a nice little boost. Rivian, right? Will Rivian get the lift today and start to push? Will Lucid catch fire? Lucid. The Lucid. Dreamers. The dreamers out there. My bag is Cybin. Oh, man. Down 40%, stuck with 10,000 wisdom. Hey, don't worry. I think we're all kind of stuck in that Cybin story. I'll tell you one thing: the CEO can talk, and the views are all positive, but the truth is the stock just keeps getting destructed, right? Same thing is in Numinous. All these kind of psychedelics plays have been pretty much bust. I mean, this is at 3 cents. I don't even know how it's still around, guys. You know what I mean? This is what's going to happen, guys. I mean, this probably go bust also. So Cybin, all those, even MindMed, is that still around? MindMed. Oh man, MindMed is NMD. Look at that. Ooh, that thing had to have done a big reverse split. Yeah, it did do a big reverse split. Was down there to $4. Did do a 1 for 15. It's pulling back. Maybe MindMed can stick around. Nothing that I want. My new weeds have been eating my mushrooms. Yeah, they're definitely eating the mushrooms out there. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Snow was one that I shorted yesterday, and was able to make some money towards the end of the day, guys. This actually did a nice little takedown attempt. You can see it here on the 1 minute. I was watching this, looking for the cut down back through the 50s, Boom! Right at the end, it got it. Right towards that 350. Not a bad little move there in Snow. I'll look for pullbacks in Snow. I think you could get a pullback to the 9 EMA and then a reload towards the 140s and 138s. So I'm not bearish on Snow, but in the intraday, I could see it kind of giving a little bit of a drop. We'll see what happens there. He still sucked my vein in my neck. Yes, it did. I actually know the guys at Advisor Shares, so I won't talk too negative about Advisor Shares because I actually like the guys that are running it. But the truth is, this hasn't turned around at all. What about the cannabis stocks? It hasn't turned around either, guys. Look at this, guys. This is ugly. Some people were thinking that, of course, with the rescheduling of cannabis stock would just boom and boom. And it's the actual opposite. Since that announcement, things have come down. All right, Mike keeps cutting off. Thanks, you future day trader. I'm probably just talking a little loud today. Maybe that's what it is right here. Maybe this will help there. I lowered it down a little bit. That should keep the mic cutting. Let me know if the mic keeps cutting, guys. I can go ahead and restart my audio here. That can go ahead and help out. All right, let me see here. Let me lower it down a little bit. See if this helps it out. There we go. All right, there you go. That should be a little bit better there, guys. I lowered it down there some, so that should help out. Let me know, guys, if it still keeps cutting. All right, smooth there now. Thanks. And like always, guys, you guys can always let me know, guys. Sometimes it's just, maybe I was talking louder today. Maybe I'm a little bit more excited. Maybe I got the mic a little too close. You know how it is, team. Thank you for making the feedback, because that's if you guys don't give me the feedback, you can't just. I my horrible internet and said, Eric, no, it's not your horrible internet, Eric. I hope it works now. Let me know, guys. Still coming? Nope, back to scratch. All right. So give me a second, guys. I'm going to reset my mic. It'll take 2 seconds. I'll just put myself on mute. I'll be right back. That now, guys, that's still coming in pretty loud there. There we go. That should be a little bit better, guys. What's up out there, guys? How's this doing? Is this a little bit better? Let me know out there, team. I'm trying my best to adjust it here. We'll see what happens. All right, there, guys. I just restarted it there. Let me know, guys, if it got a little bit better. If not, I can go ahead and try to maybe restart when I bring Tim on. But definitely smash it up, guys. We still got a lot more. Sounds better, much better. Hey, you guys saved me there. Oh, better indeed. Thank you. All right, we'll be all right, guys. Let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is out there. There's still a lot to talk about in this market. Still a lot to look at. We'll see what happens in this market. Put it up a tiny bit. Let me know if it starts to cut again, guys. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else I can trade today. Going to look to see if oil finally wakes up. Oil has been strong in kind of WTI, but overall, it hasn't really made the move. We need to see what happens in the Middle East to see if maybe some more issues kind of play into this. We did get a high on the Monday of 83.40s. So if we can get back to 84 on oil, that could be the move. I'm still looking at oil to the upside. I just have to wait and be slow on this trade. This looks more to me like a swing trade idea than a day trade, because the day trade just hasn't worked. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. XLE, of course, can be a way to play that. XOM, just slightly below the trend line, right? Holding the 9 today. I think this is an important one to watch today. It's giving me that pullback opportunity to jump in. We'll see what happens today if we get a pullback towards the support, and then it holds 113.50s, gets back to the 115. Dell, hold one more minute. Let's see what happens here, guys. 9:30 coming here. Dell trying to prop up, trying to get that next layer up there. It still has this gap to fill. I could see Dell getting up there towards that 165. It doesn't look too bad. Already hot here. Let's see if it can continue to run through the 150 today. We'll see what happens on that one, Noli. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the action today. Tesla could be a little bit of some pullback action. Zap was one that we were watching just a little bit earlier. Let's see if this one makes the move and keeps going out the gates. CNSP, how's that one doing? On the pullback. We'll look to see if it gets back up there to 359. Let's get after it, team. Smash the like. A lot to take a look at it. Will people start taking profits on Tesla? I feel like that might happen out the gates here. We'll see. There's the gates, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it, guys. You guys know where you're at. The bell's there, guys. Let's get after it. It's time. Get after it, traders. Tell me what you guys are seeing in the market. I'll tell you guys what I'm seeing, and let's see what we can come up with today. Nice little cushion to start the day, of course. I've talked about it. Short on Tesla early on, giving me a nice little 132 to start the day. Let's see what happens out there. DEC giving me a little bit of an up move, right? On, giving me the straight down move out the gates here. So right back to the lows. Doesn't look too bad here. If we could get a little bounce to 37.50s to get short on. It's already coming down fast. I'm going to look for a little bit of a bounce here, see if I can get it. But man, on, because they don't give you a chance to grab it out the gates. That thing came down in a hurry. Skechers is another one that I could keep a watch on to see if that continues down. Nike is going to be one that I'm going to be watching to see if it comes up today. That's a little bit concerned if we do get that lift. All right, looking at the sectors, just to start off, basic materials, energy, and technology. So, hey, XOM, let's take a look there. Dip back towards 114, straight up out the gates here. We'll see if that kind of gets that push. We've been seeing a lot of early push in energy, and then it fades, turns a day. We'll see if that that pattern turns. Coal, HCC, one of the names that I was talking about this morning. So I'm going to start taking a look at coal names to see what's going up in coal. Of course, this is one of my plays. METC is one that I can be watching this morning. That's down there towards the 14, has been trying to build off this 14. Let's see if it makes a run to 15 today. Not a bad one to watch here. METC, but the spread's about 10, 20 cents. We'll see if this one gets a push today. CEIX, it's another one that I like that I talked about on the playbook, but the spread on this one's pretty wide, guys. There's not much volume right now trading in it. BTU is more of a trade that kind of gets that volume. We'll look to see if that makes the move. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. Let's go ahead. Let's put the trade idea scanners here, see what we can find there. Explosive winners, unusual volume. CNSP definitely showing up there right now. Look at the move to $2 and close to $3 and the flush back to 250s. This one looks like a trap to me. We'll see if this one comes right back down and starts to flush some traders. All right, there's GURE going up there towards the 150s, a chemical play. Nice little pattern here, kind of building up the cup. Could go to 155, then a little bit of a pullback, at least from the way I see it. ICU has been making big moves. This has been a biotech that's continuing to drive. Not one that I've traded, at least on the long side, but keep your watch out there, guys. Up, showing up there, that was one that was making a move yesterday. had made a nice little push here. Now pushing right out the gates. We'll see if this can continue to run. Hut giving me an alert there. I'll take a look at Hut. Hut trying to get up there towards the 1550s. Just keeping a watch on it this morning to see if it's going to make a run with Mara, or will Mara just keep crashing down? Something to keep a watch on that. Tesla pulling back a little bit here. Now starting to get that drive. I think it could at least get that 241. Talked about that in the pre-market. Let's see if it starts to do that. Desktop Metals giving me a little bit of a volume alert there. I've been watching this to see if it makes a move above 460s towards the $5 spot. It has done a split. So that's one thing to kind of mention with Desktop Metals. Let's see if it can make that run to $5 today. Not a bad one to watch for me. I'd be looking for pullbacks towards 460s and then looking to see if this can run to 5. And pre-market had a high of 518. So we'll see if this one can get up there. Desktop Metals. Ouya. HUYA. Going up on the scanner. Volume. So this one's, of course, a media name. Starting to get a little left. Nothing that I see standing out to me too much. JNUG. So the bulls, the gold miners, getting a nice little lift here. So gold in play today. And you can see basic material leading the market. How's gold doing? Well, gold is doing actually pretty well. It's not the leading one right now. Silver and copper are leading, but gold is up pretty good, substantial amount. GOLD had a good chart. That's actually looking good off this break. Look at the daily chart. You can see it here. Nice bunch up pattern. I'd be looking for some pullbacks back towards 1680s, but doesn't look too bad right now on GOLD. Trying to break that 17. All right, time to catch up with you guys in the chat. A lot going on right now. I'm going to see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll keep it going. Eldon, what's up out there? DM was on the map a year ago. Yeah, man. I still like the idea of Desktop Metals. The only question is, will they turn things around? I still like the idea, man. It's hard. It's hard to come after a name like this because you could see it. Long-term chart has not been good. The story's there, but man, when will 3D printing really take off? IVP getting a little lift. Nothing that I like there. There's not much right now in the smaller names. It looks like a lot of traps out there. Look at this. Back to 240s, 250s. Was trying to lift on CNSP. I don't feel confident about that one. Tesla overall still kind of doing decent here. 237s. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD going up there to 165.30s and actually not doing too bad. So let's look to see if AMD can keep pushing on the day. Of course, I got the swing trade on this one, and I really feel it can go. So let's see if this can keep pushing. Nice VWAP hold right now, and let's see if it starts taking the next step up. In AMD, of course, we're taking a look at the semiconductors to see what happens, see what's pushing there. I see some other names that I can watch there. Taiwan Semiconductor. Talked about this yesterday of how we could see Taiwan Semiconductor continue to lift, as this has been one of the sneaky plays that's kind of rising. There you guys see yesterday's action, and it's continuing to lift today. Taiwan Semiconductor pretty strong right now. So taking a look at that one for pullbacks to 179, but nice move to start it off. I know someone in the chat had talked about how Micron could start making the move back up. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, if had the pullback, you have your opportunity there. We'll see if it starts to make a move. SMCI still kind of chomping around. We'll see if this one ever gets that nice up move, but man, it just can't get it right now. All right, looking around, guys, how'd that Zap do? Zap back towards 250s, had made a run in the open there, went up there to the 280s, came back to the 245s, and then right back up. So this is chopping around all over the place, guys. Be careful out there with Zap. Chewy alert, guys. Chewy alert back through 25s here, guys. So I'm gonna maybe take a little bit of a quick trade here on Chewy just to see if this wants to get going. I'd do about 200 shares here, slight twick underneath 25s. I can go ahead and try to take this shot here. The VWAP is around the 2480s here. So I'm looking for like 2490s to 2480s here. 25 showing up there, still looking for the pullback. Don't want to jump up there on the 25s just yet. It doesn't look that bad to jump up there, but of course, like I talked about, I'm looking for the big breakout, and it still hasn't gotten that. So I want to see that reload happen to actually grab some more volume back towards this 2480s, and then the takeoff happen. We'll see what happens on Chewy. It is actually not a bad start to the day. But of course, it really needs to get going for traders to take a look at it. AMC has been one that I've talked about, kind of keeping an eye open for, as that movie that's been out right now from Disney has been just killing it. Even though that movie's been doing well, Disney has been getting wrecked as of late. So keep your eyes open for the action out there. Macy's is one that I'll keep watch, guys. I think this one could be a nice long-term short. I'm looking for a move back above the 18s to short Macy's later today. We'll see what happens, especially if it can get back here towards like 1825s. I like it. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat in a little bit. I'll get joined by Tim. We'll see if Tim can join in here. Smash the like, guys. Cup and handle on Ally. All right. Okay, that's a bank stock that I kind of like. I actually have the bank myself, right? So let's see if this can push off that 40. Financials overall, XLF, right? We'll see if this can kind of keep pushing. Morgan Stanley has been one that we've talked about, and Goldman Sachs. Not a bad one, Wisdom. I think we brought these up yesterday. Goldman Sachs, nice little prop to the 470s. Morgan Stanley kind of trying to get through that 100 and hold it. Hey, banks aren't doing too bad there. Chewy trying to break that 25, not breaking that 25. I think we'll get our attempt for the pullback at least. We'll see if we jump in it here. BVPR, another one that's starting to try to recover the $3. This is a solar name, right? It has pulled back towards the 3. We'll look to see if this one actually wants to make a move and kind of hold here. VVPR definitely has some volume at least, so something to keep a watch on. Nano Dimensions, so NNDM, I'm pretty sure this is a 3D printing stock. I need to look back into it. I know I've heard about this one in the past, but definitely getting a little bit of a lift. That one could be moving with Desktop Metals. Desktop Metal back to 450. I'll look to see if it makes the move. Right now, I'm leaving that one on the side. IVP, what's up with that one? Halting at the 273 spot. Went up there from the $2 spot. So there you guys have your first halt of the day. This one, big move there. Costs showing up there. VVPR now on the volume there. Recovered the $3 spot. Now back towards the 320s. Doesn't look too bad as it starts to get strong here. I'd be looking for quick dips towards 305, $3, and maybe risk off my 290, or maybe even the 280 or 270 look right here. But we'll see what happens here on VVPR. Zap, hanging out off that 250. Did Tesla make the up move? It went up there towards the 239, 240s, looking like it's trying to make that double top action look. Look at the 15 here. So you can see it here, how it's kind of topping out here. That's what I'm kind of looking at to see if we get like one more kind of break towards the upside, 241, and then some profit taking. Right now, it's still strong. VVPR back towards 318. We'll see if we get that dip there towards the 305, $3 spot on pullbacks. Chewy holding in the 25s right now, guys. See what happens on that one. Looking around, team. Not trading too much out the gates here, because the truth is there's a lot of action moving around. Not seeing too many trends. Energy already pulling back a little bit there. Technology on a little bit of a pullback there. We'll see if it gets the next lift. AMD already back towards 163.50s. So a little bit trappy look out there right now. Let's see if this can actually kind of hold. Overall, the sectors is only about a couple of them in the red, but not big red. Communications and healthcare, a little bit red this morning. Industrials, but leading the market, basic materials. Basic materials hot right now. Copper doing well. Silver doing well today. Aluminum doing well today. Gold doing well. That's for sure. Steel kind of giving that little push. Of course, CEIX, one that I was talking about in the playbook, and that's actually doing well, guys. So we'll see what happens with this one. Not a bad day there for CEIX and coal players overall. This is up about 1.92. METC. We'll see if this one wants to make the move back up towards 15. It's not a bad one that I could keep a watch on for that 15 run. I'd like to dip back in like the 1430s, 1425s, see if this wants to make that run back up there towards 15. Daily chart has been pushing, trying to get through these highs of 15s, but has failed on each attempt. IVP, let's go, Jan. All right, I'm out for the day. No trade day for me. Going to go for a run now. Hey, enjoy that run, Jan. Enjoy it, man. I would never be mad at that, man. I love traders that make decisions, right? Because that's what we're trying to build. I'm waiting for a 3D printed Porsche. Yeah, Wisdom, you and I both. A 911 can show up at my door. It can be 3D printed. I'll still drive it. All right, guys. What a run in the SPY yesterday. Yeah, El Don. It was that fake out, man. Those fake outs. You got to be careful out there. GLD continuing to push through that 17 look. JNUG was one that we were looking at this morning that had the volume. Look at that push in gold this morning. Definitely getting the lift. And silver, you can watch it in the SLV, the iShares Trust. You can see how that's pushing strong right now. So definitely silver, some basic materials, actually doing pretty good today. AMR, how's that one doing? A little bit of a pullback action as this one was really hot yesterday. I could actually see this one holding the close here of 328 and actually getting a next lift. So looking for pullbacks on this towards 328, 326, but you got to be careful on a stock that has a wide spread like this one does. DRCT, trying to make a little bit of a lift there. Advertising agency. Let's see what happens on that one. Zappy Zap, still holding in the 250s. IVP, is that one reopened? Yes, it is, guys. Reopened up there towards the 270s. Pulled back slightly. We'll look to see if it makes the next move. And then what was the other one that we were looking at just short a while ago? VVPR. There's the pullback in VVPR back down below here. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe take a shot on this VVPR back below the 295s, risk off the 275 low here. And there it goes back towards these levels. So this is kind of the level that I can take the shot on. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of a buy right there. Got 200 shares there. Wanted to hold the low. If it cuts through the low, I'll just get out right now. But looking for this to turn back towards the $3 spot here. Just got to know my risk here. Even at the low here, it's only about $42 here. Looking to go ahead and see this get back above 3, and then I can add back into this. It's kind of holding in this 290 look. It looks good there as long as it can hold in and come back through the 3s, 325s on the upside. Still looks great here. Still seeing a little bit of a pullback here. We'll see what happens. If we do get that cut down back below the 275s, I'll get out of this. There's a lot of support underneath it here. Just needs to find some buying. Let's see what happens. 280 has a big order at 9,300 shares, now 10,000 shares. You could get an attempt towards that 280. Just keep that in mind. All right, in just a short minute, we'll be getting Tim to join in here. Now, I know that he was watching some silver and maybe some gold out there, so definitely smash the like, guys. Who wants to see Tim? Put the Tim alert in the chat. Let him know. We want Tim on. We want Tim. Throw it up there, guys. The Tim alert, the Tim alert. I'm even throwing that one up there, guys. Smash it up there. Tim's coming through. Tim, you ready to rock and roll? Always, man. Always. Let's bring on my man, Tim. What's going on, Tim? How we doing?
Hey, good morning. Doing all right. Let's see. I got into ARM here, and I grabbed that first push, and there went half of my daily allowance, so had to take it a little more careful there. But I did grab Siri out of the gate.
Siri.
So yeah, I didn't actually check in on the silver thing. I was curious if you had your ear to the ground more on that. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theorists and whatnot when it comes to the silver markets. So there's been some shenanigans. So. That's the only thing that came.
Shenanigans, man. I mean, whenever you're trading gold, silver, oil, there's always traders out there that say, there's a lot to these trades, right? A lot of inside talk. A lot of, talk where you got to keep up with the governments. You don't know what could be happening. I'm taking a shot in VVPR, guys. We'll tell you guys that. I just added to that. Taking the shot here, trying to let it hold that bottom of the 82 spot. There's a big order at 280s that could get filled. So keeping that in mind, right? It's right there at the 280s. I'm risking right now on the 275. I got about 500 shares, 291. Let's see if this starts to come back up. VVPR. Of course, this was one of the unusual volume names given by our Trade Ideas scanner. Let's see if this could get back through the 325s and start to push. So you see the 5-minute lows here. This is kind of what I would want to see it hold. It could wick below that, but really wouldn't want to see this low break. That's 273 on the 5-minute. Back up through the 314 looks good. And a 5-minute candle through 330s. would be that bullish engulfing look. Let's see if we get it.
So one other thing I'm looking at is crypto, because that was taking a big dive this morning. I haven't checked back in, but was there news on that? Do you know? Or
no, I think it's important to watch. The 60,000 spot is so important for that. And I've been watching it because I'm keeping an eye on to see what happens with Mara and others like Clean Spark and names like that. So we'll see what happens with those names, but definitely something to watch. All right, guys.
I know there was some news on fintech. There was a big fintech provider that had some issues the other day. I wonder if on-off ramp stuff is feeding into it. Yeah,
it's a lot of people say that a lot of people are locked out of their accounts with that fintech issue. I did read that article this morning. We'll see what happens out there. But guys, this is the VVPR trying to hold in this 290s. Now I'm looking for it to go. It had a couple of bottoming attempts. The volume has looked to try to get in here. Let's see if it gets right back to the 3.
Yep. And that actually reminds me of an idea I was going to try. I tried yesterday. I think I made some money on that, but it wasn't quite ready for the move. Is SoFi. Hood to a lesser extent maybe, but SoFi also, because they have their own bank charter. So I think they might still fall into that sort of mental bucket of fintechs. But when you dig into it, I think they might not be as vulnerable as some of these other names. So, and we could see capital moves from affected consumers as well, once they get back into their funds, of course.
All right, guys, seeing still a little pullback here in VVPR. We'll see if it gets back up there. Just focusing on this one right now. I am looking around and I see on as a potential short. I'm seeing Snow as a potential short. NVIDIA starting to rise. Let's see if AMD goes with that rise in NVIDIA.
Dollar Tree also had a big pop this morning. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit, but at a Target, Walmart, Dollar Tree, it was strong right out of the gate. All three are pulling back now, so it's interesting. Rumble looking strong too, and of course, this election heats up. We'll be looking for more interest there as well.
All right, back to the 290s on VVPR. I want to see it take the 295s now, get back towards 3. It should be a quick little pop back. So at this point, I get like the ticking time bomb inside of me saying, okay, this is the time where they either take it or they don't. So at this point, I can set my stop right off the recent low action and make sure that it kind of holds that action. So risk about, what, 51 bucks on this. Let's see if we can get it back up. 281 is my risk right now, 500 shares. Looking for this to get back to 320s, and then start to drive to the 350s. Let's see what happens on VVPR, guys. I could add to this, but that's just asking for it right there. I'm just going to keep the risk measured there, $50 risk. I have a $130 cushion this morning. Let's see what we do. Noli, have a good 4th of July, my friend. Red, 1 risk today. That's okay. Trade was good. See you on Friday. Smash it up for that, man. It's always good to see you, Noli. Hey, appreciate you in the chat like always, Noli. Have a good one, man. There you guys just got hit there off that dip there in VVPR off the 280s. There was a big order that got filled there. So if you see it come back, that could have been that buyer off the 280s. There was 10,000 shares that got filled there. So that's the level that I'd keep watch now for sure. If that level breaks, it probably goes. But right now, it's still fighting in between this and could recover. It could have been a wick stop out there for me. And then now it recovers back through the $3. Big order right there at the 280s. Just got hit there. You can see the low 280s. So we'll see what happens if this one starts to come back. CENX, aluminum has just been ripping, man. Have you seen this move, Tim? Look at this. Last 2 days. What is going on in aluminum, my friend? That's a big push. That tells me to look for me at Alcoa today. And look at Alcoa. We were watching this yesterday. It was making a move. It's continuing to move today. Alcoa, big move up there. Gold, GOLD, pulling back a little bit. 1716, still holding in right now. Desktop metals back to 450s, trying to get through the 5 today. I saw a couple of these kind of 3D plays today. NNDM is another one, right? Nano Dimensions off the 240s, just went to 260s. We'll see if it recovers right back up to that level. But I'm seeing a couple of them show up. Zap showing up now, guys. There's that 280s, guys. 245s was an interesting level for me on Zap. It already boosted there towards 295s. $3 in play here for Zap. Of course, with Tesla doing really well, I think some traders are watching this Zap trade. Ford was another one that I can maybe look at to see have a good day. GM, trades like that, I think could reverse and try to give you a nice little update. Rivian made a move to 15, now pulling back to the 1490s. All stocks to keep on watch. Kicking it to you, my friend Tim. What are you watching right now, man? I see Siri on the action. Siri is a crazy one, man. That thing has a crazy float. What's the float on Siri, man? Oh, man.
Not sure. I do know they just, they were delisted, or not delisted, but they were pulled out of the NASDAQ index. So I was expecting a rebound off of that, off of the selling going on there as index funds, pull it out. ARM, yeah, I took a hit there initially, just got too eager, took too big a bite of the apple and found the worm. But I am looking for a catch here on retailers, maybe. Like I said, Dollar Tree was the strongest of these three that I often watch, but Target as well. It'll either catch here or not at all, I think. We'll see.
All right, looking around, guys. Got cut out of that VVPR, and there's the cut down back towards the 270s. So it happens, guys. CNSP being mentioned in the chat. It's trying to recover the 250s, trying to get back to 3. We'll see if it gets to the 350 spot. That's what the resistance has been in the pre-market. It's trying to recover the 279 right now, the 280. We'll see what happens on that one. Chat, Bullseye is trying to be all over that one. We'll see what you get, Bullseye. Let us know. NUG-T, the kind of the gold miners, doing decent today. Mara kind of struggling along. What's up with the Bitcoin action there? I want to actually take a look at that. Oh, looks like we got a bounce when it hit through the 60,000 and it bounced right back up. So that could actually hold Mara in. We'll see what happens. CNSP definitely getting the volume thrust. You can see it here. The volume definitely showing up there. Look what's moving, guys. The Lucid Dreamers, guys. I had a feeling that maybe this stock could move and kind of get a little bit of a lift there just because Tesla's doing so well. We'll see what happens with this one. This one could be kind of more of a scalp play for me towards 3. It doesn't seem too bad. I definitely don't believe in the company long term, but that doesn't mean that I can't trade it, right? It's getting some volume, and I think that's all it needs, right? There's a lot of short volume on this, and it could squeeze. Tech showing up there. That's actually doing well. The metals and minerals.
ARM, there's a nice recovery on ARM, I think. So,
incredible.
Shame I wasn't in with that first. Be nice to be up 1,000 instead of. I'm on a ultimate on this this eval account I'm on right now, so yeah, it would have been nice to have been up 1,000 instead of down 1,000, but we'll see how the day shakes out.
Hit the like, team. Let's keep going after it, guys. I took one little hit there today, and I'm still battling, team. I'm up about 76 on the day. Took about $50 off of that VVPR. Still looking for the next trade. That's what it's all about, guys. Let's keep looking. AMD struggling a little bit there. On. Look at that, guys. Nice little VWAP fade opportunity there. It's not a lot of not like a lot of gain there. It's like 20 or 30 cents. But this has been one that I've been looking for bigger and bigger breakdown. You can see it's just been red. So Nike, you red again? Nike is red. Nike is red there. Skechers deck could be one that I could look at for the short. I'm still looking at deck for the short. Look at the hourly on this, how it keeps rejecting the hourly highs. Today you get through that 948, could come right back towards that 920s. The problem with deck is the spread's just wide, man, about $6 wide. All right, how's Hut doing today? Hut's holding in there. I talked about how that one's been probably the strongest miner as of late. Looking around, guys, seeing what making a move. Utilities making a move today. XLU with a little bit of a bounce. Nextera Energy getting a little bit of a bounce there. And XLE trying to bounce a little bit there. Got cut out of the swing trade yesterday on XLE, guys. Right near my break even, lost a tiny amount, but looking to see if XLE is going to come back up today. XOM was one that I was watching for pullbacks today and looking to see if this would get hot. It's up back towards the 115. It could keep going, but right now, a lot of the energy move has been a quick little move up, then hourly attempts down. Desktop metals now to 489. Talked about maybe a $5 opportunity there on this desktop metals. Wouldn't mind to try to maybe take a quick little pullback to 475 for that 5 attempt, but that's kind of more of that scalp mentality. NNMD could be one that I could go off of this. NNND DM. So Nano Dimensions, very similar stock, would be a push to 260 and above. I don't mind it here, guys. Let's see if I do a little scalp play, guys. I don't do scalps often, but I've been trying to adjust a little bit as I've been struggling with my standard plays. Let's try to do a little scalp off this kind of 240, 239 area. Looking at what's the layers, where are the walls? The walls at 250s. There's wall of 10,000. There's 10,000 at 249, 10,000 at 252, 9,000 at 254. The pullback to 237 with 9,000 shares, 400 there. So right now, there's a little bit of a mixed noise. It's going to have a troubled time to try to get through that 250. That's the only reason I didn't just jump on it right now. It's because of what's out there on the depth. Been trying more and more to try to pay attention to that. What's up out there, Tim?
I'm just saying I did go ahead and hop in on a Dollar Tree as well. Not as big a size because I'm not quite as confident here.
Okay.
I think, and this is what I saw initially, I think I'm seeing some wicks. You know, some days the wicks kind of signal where it's going to go. Some days the wicks kind of counter signal. You know, you could either think it's people shaking out weak hands or what have you. But I get the feeling today we're seeing a lot of opposite wick signal. Oh, wow. And look at Target. Just popped up 30 ticks there.
I'm actually looking for a short on Walmart today, guys. Short on Walmart. It's already kind of hitting it right now.
Well, that could have been your cue right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this outlook right now, guys. It's already cutting there, guys. I would like to get a little entry here and then add towards the 68. See if I can get it, guys. 67.90s right now. The only problem is it's not that much downside action. You got to go a little bit bigger in Walmart for me to make moves because the ATR on this isn't that much. So the range that this stock has isn't that big. The thing is the channel rejection on Walmart. So Tim, this thing's been trading in such a nice channel. It's hard to short it there because this could be exactly where they're buying it, right? And so that's the hard part. This thing's just stuck in a channel. So I'm looking to see what happens with it. But
Costco stop though, you know, 60, you could go 68, was it 68.28 or even 68.10?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad for a stop on that if you want to be adventurous.
No, it's not. It's not a bad look. It's not a bad look, right? And then you keep getting these little pops above 68s that fail. That could just be overhead supply that's waiting there.
Yeah. Problem with Walmart for me is just on those days when it goes against you, you can get those moves, but you know, unless you catch a really big one, it just kind of doesn't make as big a moves usually, is what I've seen. But
Nvidia struggling out there. Snow back to the downside. There she goes. This is one that I've been looking for a little bit of a pullback back down, and still could be a play on the upside, but something that I'm looking at. There's DM now 495s. Maybe played the wrong play here. This one's not a bad look there. Desktop metals trying to get up there, guys.
I see Dollar Tree. I'm going to put a first take profit up here. It's kind of wobbling, but yeah, it looks like the apes are at it so far. GameStop and the apes are going. Yeah, GameStop,
yeah,
AMC both going. I think you mentioned AMC, Disney going as well.
Yeah, well, AMC, I think it's a good play off of the theater numbers that are coming out right now, right? And you saw a recent upgrade in CNK.
I was just gonna ask about Cinemark. Do you know the name of that ticker? There's one. Somebody told me about it, and they keep reminding me, and I keep forgetting. There's a company that owns the land or the buildings that most of the movie theaters are in, and they lease it out. And I'm trying to remember the name of it.
It's
And
probably a REIT. I need to look it up. I don't know it off the top of my head.
So that could be whatever that one is. If anyone knows, holler it out in the chat.
So swing trade idea, guys. Of course, you guys know I like to do some swing trade action. So the swing trade that I'm going to look at right now, and I'm going to go ahead and try to take this one, guys. I just got to go ahead and set it up. Is IMAX to the upside with all this action that's going on in AMC, all the action that's going in CNK. A lot of sideways consolidation here. Could take that move, go back to 775, 18s. So it's not a bad outlook for me to watch IMAX get the lift. IMAX is one, of course, that is kind of a little bit of a sympathy play to try to come off of this, but I don't mind it. I kind of like it here. Let's go at it here. I'm going to go for about 60 shares, and I can add about 20 shares on pullbacks. I'm going to go ahead and just jump in, and I want you guys to also see here, I could be picky and look for 17, but there's no problem for me. 1703 and 1701 with 60 shares. It's not going to be much, man. Let's just be honest. That's not going to hurt me. So instead of me trying to be so picky and trying to get an entry and missing the entry, I'm just going to take the starter there and look for pullbacks back towards like 1690s and 1680s to add that extra 20. So we'll see what happens there. Now I can go ahead and just set the limit here. I can set it at like, let's do 89, 1689 to add that 20. If I get that pullback, I'll add. I'm already in, guys. You guys can see it here. The swing trades are on, guys. The swing trades. If you guys haven't checked out our swing trade evaluations, what's up out there, guys? Where's my swing traders, guys? Let me know in the chat if you guys like swing trading. Tim, are you more swing trader or day trader? What would you say?
Combination. I look for good swing entries on the day. I'll be gonna pop away for just 1 second. I'll be right back here.
By all means, man, hop out. Be right back.
We'll say target looking like it's doing a run there. So that's
okay.
Seeing if it can break out above the morning high. But
yeah, Walmart bounced with that too. So there you go. The channel might be into play there. Let me know when you're back, Tim. I'll put you in the background for just a second. All right, threw Tim in the background there. He'll let me know when he's back, guys. Let's go take a look at the action out there. Zap still making that move. VVPR kind of cut me out, guys. We'll see if it does come back a little bit later in the day. NMDM was one that I was looking at for the 250 move, looking for the 260. I didn't go for it because based on what I saw in the tape there, but you guys see it, it's still making that move right now. It still has that wall at 256 and 258 to get through. The wall for the bid side is coming back here, 10,000 at 244s. So that's kind of the pullback action, the 244 layer. But this could just break from the 250 going towards the 270s, kind of a little small breakout here. We'll see if it gets back there towards the 262 layer. Not a bad one to watch there. What about Triple D? That's another 3D company name that is moving a little bit here, but just basing this off of sympathy. So sometimes the algos will just try to go capture anything that is trading in that 3D space. So DM is making the move. You're seeing these other ones make a move, and all of a sudden it starts to try to buy those up. You can see Triple D trying to break that $3 spot. Another one that I could look at is this one. I don't even know if it's making the move or not, but Velodyne. This one makes 3D printouts for SpaceX. It's done really bad, but hey, you never know. On a day like today, when they're buying this up, it could make a move. So these are things that I look at, guys. I'm always about the sectors and the industries. Tim, you ready to rock? Always, man. Always. Let me bring my man Tim back.
Things I saw. So first of all, Enovex looks like it's on another run again. It's at 1556 and climbing, curling up. Seems to be moving right along with Tesla, which is kind of interesting. So batteries or something. Speaking of resources, I haven't looked at natural gas, but Tellurian, TELL, they have a strong kind of dip and push there. So I don't know if there's something going on with natural gas, if there's news on it, or if it's just the general small cap enthusiasm we seem to be seeing today.
Known runner moving today, costs. So this is a known.
Here we go. Maybe it is. It's just all the. Here we go. It's just all the memes and long shot plays. So,
yeah,
I think Tellurian's a long shot. I don't know if it's tied to presidential administrations. They need approvals, but I don't think it's a long shot. I think it's just a long way off. They have to build that driftwood facility. Somebody mentioned CMG. It was a future day trader, right? So CMD, I don't know.
Chipotle, get those Chipotle.
Yeah, did you see that research note from Wells Fargo? They went out and bought 75 burritos. They did a study. They bought 75 burritos, and they graphed out the sizes to see if there is size variance or not. And apparently, they found a pretty significant one. So,
that's for sure. I'll tell you the tips right here, Tim. I'm a big Chipotle guy, and
all right, let's hear it. Let's hear the tips.
The tips right now for Chipotle. You want to know how you get your burrito to be big, baby? You start it off like this. You say, "All right, well, can I get a bowl, right, with a tortilla on the side?" They charge you now. They caught on to this, and they started charging 60 cents because they knew what was happening. Then when you get the bowl, you tell them, "Hey, let me get extra rice, extra beans, and then the same amount of chicken." You'll get probably the same amount that you used to get. They cannot reject that extra rice request and cannot charge you for that take when you can get it, man.
That's cool. One tip that I heard, so someone said they have IBS or something like that, and so they just get chicken and rice, just plain chicken and rice. So I noticed that I always get a pretty huge burrito. I get a ton of protein in there.
Yeah.
So he said he figured they basically just sort of eyeball it to the same size, and he says it's very much when it's in person compared to.
Oh man.
Yeah. Compared. Oh wow. Get in on that headphone action.
That 90 EMA pullback opportunity here, it's not something that I do often, guys. It's a strategy I know, but it was there, opportunity. You see this light blue line. You see how it expands away. The pullback, see this line, the wick through. Those are the kind of wicks that a lot of momentum traders play. So even here, when it came away, broke through the 9, recovered the 9. So things like that is one thing that you can look at. Good move there in cost. That's why I think that Chewy is in play today. I know it has made a big run, but it can get hot out of nowhere, guys. It's holding the 25 on pullbacks. That's something that's telling me that it could get moving. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
Tesla 241 now, man. 241 on Tesla. What a move, guys. When's the profit taking coming in? I feel like it's going to be somewhat near, guys, somewhat near. The only question is, how do I come after it now? I need to see a bunch up at the top, sideways consolidation near the top. That's the only way I can risk in the short side. That's how I did it here. And this morning, there was sideways consolidation at the top. Similar pattern I need to see if I was trying to take quick short on Tesla. But right now, it's seeming like only longs make sense. Is the sound breaking up for anyone else today? Yeah, maybe it's my mic. My mic's been a little bit off today, guys. Let me know, Tim, if you hear me breaking up or something.
Right now, it sounds pretty good, to be honest. So SoFi looking like it's promising here. I don't know how I didn't get mine. It's very strange.
AMD big bars back up, so it's one that I kind of keep an eye open for. No coming back with a vengeance. Mara still dripping there. Not a breakdown, but dripping. Look for the breakdown. Look here. I know there's a lot of bulls in Mara. Can't blame them. You can see it's just chopping around right there. The NSP still shows up on the scanners. That did a jump and then right back down. This is one that I could kind of maybe scalp to the downside here. But that's just one that I just could see that it was topping. Cost just ripping, guys. $7.71 now, almost $8, guys. This thing's just jumping.
Hood is looking really sharp today as well. And speaking of topping, though, Siri could be topping out. It's just sort of wobbling around there.
Zap trying to break 3, guys. Zap trying to break 3. We were looking at this morning. What a move there. I know Shane was on top of this one. I hope he was able to nail that one. Look at that move through 3. The NEX, the aluminum, has been just ripping through the moon today. I'm looking to see what happens on that on pullbacks. How did coal do? Looking at coal this morning to see what happened on that.
You follow AREC ever? AREC? They do coal for steel production. I think.
Yeah, I try to like just
they're
look
down,
at the industry overall, and right now I'm seeing a industry-wide move, man. I definitely was even thinking about this METC at like the 435s, 420 range for $15 break. It's still working well. This is a name that's just kind of slowly stair-stepping up, but it's moving with the industry. If you take a look at the industry, it's doing really well. So AMR is another one for 228 pullbacks, 328 pullbacks to hold the daily high and keep ripping to the upside. We'll see what happens in coal players. HCC is one that I talked about yesterday that was pretty hot. Could keep going. That's trying to break the 75 right now.
I'm going to get in on Hood as well. Their banking situation's been sorted for a while, and similar thesis. So let's see what we can get in here. Now this is going to have to be tight stop. Well, actually, no, it won't have to be. I'm just gonna 2233. All right, I'm putting my stop at 2233. Hope nobody hears that, but always love that.
Yeah, Tim. I give them out there too, man. And sometimes I'm like, should I not tell people where my stop is? Should I not tell them where my entry is really? And those are things that you can think about. But the truth is, I mean, at the end of the day, the hunters will come out there regardless, right? I mean, I don't stress too much about that, man. If I'm going to be so picky about that, then I might as well just hide in a hole and go trade in a hole, right? Where no one can know what I'm doing. I don't stress it, man. I give you guys it just like you guys will see Tim do the same. I mean, the truth is that you can hunt certain orders, but I mean, you're looking at, you'd have to have some huge sizing. Look at Nikola go. This
oh man, there's a blast from the blast.
Nikola, yes, the guy that pushed the truck down the hill. Yeah. Oh man, this just tells me look for potential moves right in the auto space. Maybe short squeezes in like a Lucid. Look at that, 296, almost to the $3 spot, and continuing to push. This is one that we talked about just this morning. Why? Because the momentum in Tesla brings the momentum in the algos, which just start looking. They're just digging through the holes. Like, where is the auto names? Where are they? Can I just grab them? What was another one like Polestar?
Rivian? Did you do Rivian yet?
Yeah, I've talked about that one too. What about Polestar there? That one's like another kind of just, sorry to say it like that, but crappy stock that could move today. Look at this. It's trying to break $1 right now. It has a lot of volume. That's another thing. That's another sign to tell you something. Look at the volume increase lately. This tells us something. It's how it works a lot. This is why I start focusing on sectors and industry and taking away from my trading right now. I could be trading and taking some more trades, but I think this is more about the learning here sometimes. And this is the exact thing where I wanted you guys to notice something so that you can go do the research and see if you can find edge trades just like this, right? That's the real key here, is how do we learn something from this? And it's looking for this similar style moves. So when you see an industry make a move, look to see if you see other industries doing the same, right? That's what's going to help you with that. You can look auto manufacturers up, and it's leading the action today in this space, right? It's leading the action in the cyclicals right now and starting to get a boom. This is why it's important to catch this and catch the instant reaction there. Usually there's a leader. The leader is Tesla. And then now you can look for what we call the laggard play. All right, we'll see what happens on these. Lucid, all the action out there. Rivian, did Rivian catch the dip there? Back through 15? Yeah, back through 15. 1488 seems to be holding well there. Zap doing well. Did that get through 325? And then Polestar this morning. We're looking for maybe the $1 break. Can it break $1? It has a little gap here to fill to 111, right? It might not be the biggest move, but I mean, hey, the potential's there. All right, let's keep going, team. What else is making a move out there, man?
Now, you mentioned Rivian. That one's, or not Rivian, Nikola, that one's funny because I remember when that was. Here's Walmart. Yeah, it looks like Walmart is trending. Looks like it could be a trend update for Walmart. And speaking of the laggard there, I think Dollar Tree's it had that strong initial pop, but that could be the laggard now as it's behind Target and Walmart. But there could be there's a small gap it could fill if it goes back to the upside. But Nikola, it's funny you mentioned that because I remember when that happened. It's one of those cases where sort of the obvious play on the news could go the other way. I remember people saying, "Oh, Nikola's a short. Nikola's a short. It's gonna go to zero." And the thing is, was it GM, right? Had recently partnered and invested, and I said, "No, they're gonna throw money after it because they can't afford to be embarrassed on this. You know, they need that to work out for them." So
somebody got fired at GM.
Oh yeah, that's like imagine like the level of things people just don't bother to check is astounding sometimes, right? Like, did they look under the hood and see if there was a motor there or not? Apparently not. So it's like a soapbox derby truck.
Oh my God! Some companies just didn't even do their due diligence there, and it just goes to show you when things just seem too good to be true, right? There's something that's probably too good to be true there, right? Just think about that, guys. CEO isn't still in prison. Yeah, he's still in prison. I don't think he's going to be in prison for too long, though. And that's
Milton went to jail. It was his name, right? Milton something or Morton?
Yeah,
Milton
went to jail, man. Okay, so here's the 3D stock getting a little bit of a push there. 250. Yeah, he had to go to jail for that, Tim. GM was going to make sure of that one. That's for sure. GM was like, we're throwing our lawyers out that one. We want our money back. So one way to go about it is sue the crap out of Trevor Milton. We'll see what happens on that one, guys. Look at this nano dimensions. We've been seeing DM make the lift. We'll see if this one gets through there. There's a lot of resistance there, but hey, there's also a lot of bidding action now. There's 7,000 up to 251 for nano dimensions. So that just goes to show me, yeah, this is trying to get that spike to the 260. I didn't take the trade, guys. I've been a little bit hesitant. I will say that, but hey, you guys are seeing the setups there. They're definitely there for you guys to take it if you guys see it. ANTX Biotech trying to get a little lift there. I don't know this one, though. I'll kick it to Tim if he knows anything about this one. I don't know anything about this one. ANTX making a little move there. Cosm was making a push, man. That thing went all the way, almost $9, guys. This looks like an MLGO kind of move, but be careful out there, team. Yeah, with that slippage, one thing's for certain, Bullseye. What are you using? Are you using that market? What are you using? I know that you're not even on Trade the Pool, so maybe the market isn't as fast, but I will say that. But hey, let me know, man. What are you struggling with there, Bullseye? We're always here to help you out too, man. Let me know. We can talk a little bit about some strategy with slippage. So one thing that I do sometimes for slippage is I'm like, let's say on this cost, it's ripping. It's going like 850. It's 870s. It's at 80s, almost $9. Sometimes I put out a limit -3. So giving myself that room on the layers to get out, right? So I use hotkeys, I slap the ass. So what I would do back in my days, right? Bullseye, I'm with you, man. It's cool that it's fast. I used to do those trades too. So what I used to do in this case is I'd hit the bid -3. I know you're giving up something, but if you go off the ask, you might not get the price to actually hit, right? A lot of people throw it up on the ask. Limit -3, there you go. I use limit -3, but are you putting it on the offer or the bid? Should have hit the bid. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would do in that situation, right? So if you want to get out, don't look up on the offer side, look on the bid side, right? And this is something that we can think about, right? And a lot of times I do this even, you guys see me do this on Trade the Pool. Like, let's say if for some reason I'm putting it on the offer and it's not filling, I'll just go 1 cent below the bid. And I've always gotten instant fills on Trade the Pool. Yep. Like I can see from my experience, I've always gotten it at that point. So you got to understand how to use the bid and the offer to get an advantage there.
And the market dynamics too. You have to be aware of it. Remember, it's a holiday. It's effectively a holiday today. A lot of people on vacation, right? It's an early close today. People probably front running that. So there's a really thin book, right? So one thing I've been seeing, right, is you'll see it's not like the spreads are wider today. I noticed that. But the other thing yesterday and today, and I didn't play this well yesterday at all. I'll admit that right off the bat. But what you're seeing is moves not within the spread necessarily, but there's sort of a secondary spread that is wider, and you're going to see fluctuations with it. It's going to look like moves. It's going to look like pop outs, breakouts, right? And it's just fluctuation within that. So you need to give yourself a little more room, and you need to be willing, just be cautious on the size. And that bit me this morning, right? Half my daily loss because I chased it, and that's just the fluctuation.
I love
it. It's like Warren Buffett said, right? The market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. So
1000%, my friend. That's exactly what it is. That's why it's trade the pool, right? We're all in the pool together. The question is who's getting out of the pool, right? Who's getting out of the pool, right? Who's jumping out of the pool, right? And who's going to get stuck in the pool? I don't want to get stuck in the pool, guys. I'm looking around, guys, and wisdom with some wisdom. Haha, pun intended here. I am the owner. I don't ask to sell, right? That's a nice one there. The truth is when you jump on the ask, you're like kind of giving, especially like the payment to order flow on different brokerages, you're giving them the advantage. That's the truth a lot of the times. So when I want out, I want out. A lot of times I'll hit the bid.
Somebody told me one time is be stingy on entries and generous on exits. Meaning don't 1000%. Be marketing in, don't be like just jumping in, crossing the spread to get in. But if you need to get out, like if you've got profit, don't be too picky. Don't give up all your profit trying to save like that tiny little bit because you want to get the perfect exit. So
no peeing in the pool, says wisdom. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. You really do. Wisdom's always great to have in the chat, man. It's good to see you out there, man. All right, let's go looking around, man. Let's take some trades. I want to get back into something here, guys. So Cosm is one that's been making that move. It's on the pullback right now. $7 seems to make sense for me on that pullback. I wouldn't touch it until $7, but that's just me. Of course, that's a big, fast mover. Looking around at Chewy, pulling back to this 25 spot. I would love for it to come back towards like 2480s and then all of a sudden catch fire. I've been waiting to see what would happen with Chewy. Right now, I'm trying to be patient. It cost me early in the week. I'll tell you one thing, I'm trying to make that back, but I got to be patient, waiting for that volume to all of a sudden show, waiting for the momentum to show up. I don't think the Roaring Kitty has lost his touch. I think he's playing games. So that's the key here, right? How do we one up the game? Well, we got to be patient. That's the truth. Every time I've been impatient on the mentions of this stake and that stake, I paid my own stake. Right. And so in this case, I'm just waiting and waiting, looking for the volume to show me, looking for the price action to tell me, not the conversation out there. Right. So keep your eyes on that action. We'll see what happens today.
Yeah. One other thing, Bullseye, if you're not in Trade the Pool, one thing. So in Trade the Pool, the scalper is where you can configure a lot of those parameters for.
Be right back, Tim, to 2 seconds.
Yep. In Trade the Pool, the scalper is where you can configure a lot of those hotkeys for, relative to the bid, relative to the ask. For not on Trade the Pool, I don't know about Sterling, but I know Interactive Brokers, what I'll use often is the relative order type. I know Fidelity has it as well. And so it's going to peg at the bid or at the ask. It'll peg on your side of the spread, and you can tell it to be slightly more or less aggressive. So it'll always advance, though. For a worse and worse entry for you, but only as the market moves in the direction you anticipate. So basically that'll let you get in, but you're going to still be on the good side of the spread for you. You'll just be, top of the order book. And that's another way also where, you can give up some, especially if it's a quick move, but you're not giving it up on the spread. You're just giving it up on the overall move, and you always get a pretty good fill relative to the spread. So.
I punched my hotkeys. That's how it is, man. It's all good. You can always set up your own, right? And adjust them your own. I used to have one, just to give you one, Bullseye, just like one that I used to use. It's an interesting one, Tim, is so a lot of times I felt like when I'd get into these fast movers, sometimes I would get like instant 30, 40 cent pops. like instant, like almost in a matter of like milliseconds. And so I developed a strategy where I had so it had a plus 30 or a plus 50 cents on the offer. So I'm throwing my average, and I'm doing my average plus, let's say, 30 cents higher, and throwing that up instantly sometimes just to see if I get the fill. Because if I can just click one button, get in, click the other button, get out, and I already made some profit, I mean, hey, you can't be mad at that, right? These are ways to strategize, right? And I wanted to show you guys something. Let's show you guys.
I've done that with the book trader and interactive brokers. I know that the scalper in Trade the Pool lets you do that as well. Where you can say, hey, give me if you're long, you can say, give me the ask plus 20, 30, 50, whatever you want. So,
all right, here's one that we were looking at just yesterday. That's made already a really nice move, but I wanted to show you guys some different kind of buttons that you guys can be using on Trade the Pool. So of course you guys got to set these up, right? You got to go to the settings and kind of set these up for different kind of visual trading and different order entries that you guys can do, chart orders. But right here on the quick trading and the hot buttons, if you select all of these, you'll be able to get this to the right-hand side. So you see these right here, where you're selling the ask, you're selling the bid, you're selling market, buy ask, buy bid. I can go ahead and set it up like this, right? There's no reason why I can't maybe just trade off of this. And I have right here my close, my reverse, cancel buy, cancel sell, cancel all. Yes, we might not have an insane amount of hotkeys available to you, but do you have some? Yes, they are right there available to you guys. Check them out. I'm always trying to give you guys different features that you guys can be using on Trade the Pool. And always reach out to Tim too. He knows so many features that you guys can be adding. And a lot of traders just don't know this even exists.
Yep. Like one thing here too on the, I've got it on mine here.
Yeah.
In that chart entry, and this is the thing I use, the scalper I'll use from time to time. The others I don't really use too much on here.
Mara, flush on Mara. Nice. Go ahead, though. Keep going.
But right here, you can set your sizes, right? So I've got these 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 150. So I've mentioned before, I like to optimize for the commission. So I'll do it in 150 share lots. So I've got these set up, and these for the larger, more volatile ones. So you don't want to do set defaults in here. That's going to set it up for the ticker you're currently on. For example, it's creating a special setting for Siri. But I used to have that set for Chipotle back when they were, crazy huge price. But if I go here under the settings and I go trading defaults, I can actually set my default sizes here. So that makes that a little bit faster too, where you don't have to type in those things. You can just select from your quick list. And that shows up also then when you use the mouse trader, same thing. So,
all right, guys, taking a shot here in HUT as I see the downside action come in Mara. I've talked about how I wanted a short HUT because it's a top mover. Here's Mara. Mara's right here. You guys can see this quick downside action move. And that's kind of where you kind of flush bulls, right? When you get these quick little moves, the bulls just go, oh, crap, I got to get out, got to get out, got to get out, got to get out. So now I'm going to look to see if we start to see that leak come in HUT. So I'm taking a little bit of a short right now. I got about 1595. I got 600 shares. I also have orders to add here at 1607s and 1610s. I could push it up there towards 1613s. I'm holding towards the high of the day really right now. I'm just trying to get some more fills here and see this takedown in HUT. Where's the volume? 1603s, 1610s. There's not much there. So I'm looking to go ahead and try to get another fill here right around 16. Let's see if I can get that fill. There's a little bit of another fill, guys. I just got another fill there. Just trying to balance in here. 1597, 900 shares.
Can you click on bid ask without a pop-up to confirm it? Eric Russell, yes, you can. So that is, it's named kind of funny, but basically what they're saying is, it's configured as under warnings, warn if wrong order. And basically that's where if you are within the spread even, it's fine. But if you are actually going to be beyond the opposite side of the spread, so say you're selling, if that price that you put is less than the bid, right, then it'll pop up and warn you and say, hey, that's going to fill immediately. Are you sure you want to do that? Is that what you meant to do? So you turn that off, and then these sell ask, sell bid are just instantly no. In fact, look, I'll just do that. Pop. There it is. So that'll be
back up.
So that's on the ask, right? So a sell. So that's going to sit there and not fill, but I can do sell bid. Boom. I just trimmed. So that's how you do that.
Yeah. So bullseye, you're talking about a hard stop situation. I'll tell you right now, when I was in different brokerages, of course, not using here, Trade the Pool, I never used a hard stop. I'll just give you that. That's the only way.
I don't know. In today's markets, man, that's that's a nail biter, though.
It's a nail biter, right, Tim? You got to determine what's best for you. But on those situations are not where I was like announcing for everyone, right? Like commenting and not focusing. That would mean I'm watching my tape. That would mean I'm watching the time in sales. I'm like a hawk on my stock, right? Don't look elsewhere. I'm not looking to see what the hell the SPY is doing. At that point, I'm just like dead focused on my stock. That's one way to go about it. But hey, there's no one way, bullseye. You always use hard stops. I'll tell you, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes I'll use a hard stop, and it's a lot of it. It's what I call a protective stop. So like if the stock just completely dumps on me, where would I get out, right? Like this is like, it's turned on me. I can't protect myself. I need to get out. That's a situation where I use a hard stop. But it's to each his own, man. The one thing that I've noticed is that every time I use hard stops in different brokerages out there, I just got stop hunted. So
I set them real wide. What I do with the hard stops is I'll set them to be basically for catastrophic losses. It'll be to prevent that and nothing more.
Like it, man.
Now, I do have some for those of you who are on our Discord, which I encourage you to check it out if you're not on. We do have a great set of events for today. So right after this, I'm going to hop off. We're going to have some group trading for the early power hour today. So remember, the market closes at 1. This afternoon, we'll have kind of a happy hour, just kind of look at what we expect for coming out of the holiday. And then we're going to continue on watching that finance course. So anyway, on the Discord, in the terminal walkthroughs, I've got some videos on combining the static stops with the dynamic or the trailing ones. I've got some videos on combining a position stop loss with partial brackets and things like that. So you can definitely do that. Basically in Trade the Pool through the Trader Evolution software, if you have a position stop loss set, then if everything else clears out, if the position goes to 0, that'll disappear. So you don't have to worry about it. So the trick is just to basically set, if you want to have this somewhat hands-free, you can set OCO brackets for your partials. And then you just make sure that all of them are on this side of your hard stop. And then by the time, if it hits all of them, whichever direction, the position stop will just clear out and disappear. So if you have trails going, depending on your setup, you might have to monitor that more closely.
All right, guys, starting to get hot to go in my favor here, guys. I do have 900 shares. I'm willing to add another 300 shares on this, but at least there you go, guys. Now starting to get in my favor, up about $50 here. Let's see if we can get towards the 580s, take some profits, and then just look for this to continue to work here, trying to get above the $100. And really, it's been working for me to run towards profits a little bit more. So we did have a $50 hit this morning, trying to see like $100, take that 50 back, and then look to see if we can get a little bit more here. But not bad. I do have an order to add at $15.99. It's not filling right now, so I'm going to put it up towards like $16.02 just for the resistance. Still trying to add off the resistance and see if we can keep going lower. Need to see Mara continue the takedown. That's going to give me the conviction. So you see that continued takedown. I want to see Mara continue that takedown. Clean Spark also just takedown. Start looking for those. I'm looking for that kind of continued downside action coming into these mining plays. Cypher was up there. We'll look for continued takedown action, things like that. We'll see what happens.
Yep. And bullseye, yeah, green $60. Hey, you know what, man? Green $60 is better than red $60, and it's definitely better than red 600 or 6,000. So, you know, green is green.
Here's a situation. Look at this close. Look at this one, guys. Have you ever tried to do one of these? Oh, look, different way to close your position. I've done this one. It's a little bit different, where you hit the close, the X right here on your position. It gives you the offer of how many quantity you want to close. It'll show you the full amount first. I definitely have this checked to show me the next time so that I always know this. It's going to tell me what's going to happen first. And then I switch it here, the quantity, and I could just hit close on a market order. So it just took some market order gains there. And why? Because I wasn't on the position. I wasn't ready to take the gains. Instead, I just said, you know what? I'm up above $100. I've talked about it, and I've said that I was going to take the profits. Sometimes you just got to go with what you got there. $57 back into the green for the day, at least from the open, 53 loss. And now I can give myself the ability to let HUT continue to fall.
Yep. You know, one funny one I was going to look for was, this reminded me was Tupperware, TUP. And of all the memes, all the meme stocks that were discussed back in the day, this one here, it's actually treated me well. I have like one share of it that I got for laughs, and it was up 50% at one point. But this one here, look, they had this weird pop must have had a pop in the pre-market, and they haven't really run today yet. But if you look at, I make no claim as to the fundamentals, and I don't think it'll move fast enough for a day trade on TTP. But if I go out here, there is some potential there. And if I go even to like a daily chart, you know, this, let me see here actually. All right. How far did
Mara continuing down, guys, continuing down. It's looking good for me on the short for the mining plays. Let's see what happens there. And looking around Cosm, man, Cosm went right back to the top. So crazy day out there, traders. There is one thing, Tim, that we'll need to fix. I did see Eric give us a little bit of an insight there that we need to fix the email link in the looks like the link for the email for the Discord didn't work, but we'll get it fixed up, Eric. We got you, man. Appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, so look at this. This it came down. If we look at the retracement back to the last swing low, it came down all the way to the 78 fib and came up, tried the 68 fib or 61 fib to cross back up here, right? To cross that equilibrium point, tested it, and it's just sort of wobbling down in there. And I bet if I zoom in here, you'll see that same pattern playing out within there, but on the bullish side. So the question today, though, the problem is, right, it's like hedgies are away, so time to, the meme, mods are asleep post whatever, so the hedgies are asleep, trade whatever. So I don't know if this will sustain past today, but if we have more meme energy,
the footwear day was today, baby. Look at on guys, look at the leak in that there. And then are the shoes with holes coming down also? The Crocs. The Crocs.
Oh no, is Hood giving it up? Hood is giving it up.
Jack Hood
is giving it up. Target's giving it up.
Ooh, big downturn there. Coin.
Arm holding.
Is it Bitcoin?
Pushing.
Is it Bitcoin that's just taking a wallop?
By the way, you know what's interesting on Coin? We were talking metals earlier. Coinbase added oil and gold futures. And the gold is not PAXG. It's straight up just oil and gold futures. It's amazing. So,
all right, guys, doing great in this HUT short. You guys can see it. This was a play that I gave out this morning too. This is important. Sometimes, a lot of the times when I get to the point where I've made an assessment in the pre-market and then things are just working out, I try not to overthink it at that point. I'm just trying to make trades and take the profits, guys. 1570s now showing up. Next layer to 1560s will give me another profit take. I got about 200 shares there at 60s. Right now, I can pull it up to 65s, but right now I'm throwing it at 60s. And then from there, can go back to the opening price of the day. If we really want to look at it, that's 1530s for max gain on the remaining 200.
And Wisdom, I did see your question. That's funny, Victoria's Secret. I did see your question. Do I have a channel? So yeah, on Rumble, you can find. I'm just VSync almost everywhere. So Twitter, Rumble, and my trading stuff is all under Crunchy Crayons on Rumble. So
love the name, man. Love
on
the name.
Discord, you can find me there pretty much every day. So
love the name, man. Love the name. That's for sure. The crunchy crayons, guys. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Starting to get a little bounce here. Just keeping an eye on it. Of course, want to keep the gains that I already have, but just keeping a watch. So what I'll do is I'll set a stop at break even at this point to make sure that no matter what, this is a good gain. Like even if it just smacks back at me, I'll just get out and then get back in.
Yep. Friend of mine liked that as well. So he's a former Marine. So he he really liked any kind of crayon joke. He's all over.
So
on my charts too much lately.
So cross market, yeah, that's gonna happen, bullseye. But I did see you talking about how the stop, and if the broker is putting it out there, and if it's a server side stop, or if it's just an actual stop that's out on the market. These are all things that I think at the end of the day, it's just the algorithms, right? You got to understand a little bit more of how the algorithms work there, and are they in your favor or against your favor? That's one thing that I always think about, right? Always know it, man. At the end of the day, brokerages are there to make money. So are we. But the truth is, we're all trying to make money, right? Keep that in mind. And you're trying to make money. I'm trying to make money. That's why this is the pool, baby. Who's getting out?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't try it on here. Target, just giving it up. All the retailers are, and that looks like a sort of inverted cup and handle on Dollar
short
Trade.
There. Walmart short looking interesting there. Let's see if I can
maybe
get
that
it
was
here,
your short trigger
that
there.
That is my short trigger right there, man. That's my short trigger.
Nvidia though is just shooting up 123.123. That's another auspicious price. You know, I saw a article talking about people who trade using astrology. So I have a friend who's into all the esoteric stuff. Anyone out here look for those auspicious numbers? Or I remember,
guys.
Yep.
Let me get my I gotta go get my stones, right? Gotta get that right. Pointed to the sun the right way, Tim.
And I will say, incidentally, Target, I would say if it looks like it's giving it up, I'm going to actually look at a short entry here just for the fact that it is above 141.41, which for whatever odd reason seems to be a magnet for that stock. I don't know how many times it's come back to it, but
little part of me wants a short deck, but man, that's a hard stock to trade, man. It's just,
what's that one, deck?
It's outdoor shoes. It's the #1 stock in footwear, man. This thing has been an absolute.
What about what was it,
monster.
Kona or Co? What's the other one everyone was talking about?
There's a lot in the footwear space. There's
one with a. Yeah, there's one with a. It starts with a K or something. I don't know.
Let's take a look at all of them to see how they're doing today.
Of course, you have a list of all shoe stocks.
Yeah, that's what I do, Tim. You know what I mean? I don't need to know them all. I have the list right here, man.
Yep.
And we could just take a look here, right? Of course, high cap names, you're going to have like Nike. I talked about would Nike continue down today, and that's exactly what's happening. So that
you got your luxury high-end brands like Crocs. You got your
Crocs. Skechers was one that we talked about earlier in the week, and this is still kind of bleeding. It still has this gap zone that it can just fall down like a rock into. So yeah. These are all things that I'm taking a look at.
A nice catch though, right below that. Are those
yeah.
Oh no, those are moving average. I thought it was Bollinger Bands for a minute.
No, just moving averages. 50 exponential right above it, and the 200 seems like a good area for maybe the catch, but also a good area to maybe get short too, right? Yep. So there's both two sides of the coin, man. Always, guys, always. Walmart is one that I'm trying to add on the short, guys. I got ads out there. I'll show you guys it. And this is what it's all about here, right? Always being transparent. So you guys see, I took the starter, boom, just nailed on. I said, you know what? I want in, but I want more sizing. I'm looking for the bounce to get that sizing. If I do get the sizing, it'll be on the bounce and a better average. If it just flushes, it goes, right?
Yep. Now, what is going on in chips here? I mean, NVIDIA this is ridiculous. ARM behind TSMC as well. AMD could be the lag. If this is just a sector move, AMD and TSMC could be the ones they're pulling up a little bit behind the others. So
yeah, this is
Valero, and that looks like a strong catch up at the top. Nice high and tight. Go ahead.
No, this just goes to show me the big boys are just staying strong. The rotation in the big boys is no joke, guys. It's rotation almost every day in these big boys. You're seeing Apple being strong names, right? Microsoft are names that I'm looking at. Amazon, did we get the 200? Ooh, we got it in the pre-market. It didn't hold it. Let's see if it comes back to it. Something definitely to keep a watch there on that one. Hut coming back there, trying to come back towards the trend line, then just rejected. So this is a good level, this 595 for it to start holding. I'm going to go back to Hut right now, focus in on that 595. Shouldn't really even get above that level. So I can even set the stop now in the green. So right now the stop is in the green slightly, but it's in the green. And that's an important thing for me lately. Lately I've had trades go green, 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 and then all of a sudden I let them go red. That is one action I got to cut out. You got to catch yourself, right, Tim? You got to know when you're making some mistakes and admit to it. That was one of the mistakes that I was making in my red streak that has happened, right? I had about like 4 days red, now bouncing back, guys.
Oh, big oil move too. Down, down, down. Yeah, it's like that parable, right? Like a guy walking down the street falls in a hole. So the next day he starts to fall in the hole, he catches himself. Day after that, he walks around the hole. And the day after that, he crosses the street when he sees the hole. So
canceling my working orders right now in Hut. The big thing there here is looking at potentially I could add right here and try to do the takedown attempt. But here's an attempt to try to come back and get that stop. We'll see if it comes back through the 94s. You can see a wick at 95s, but if it hits 1596, I'm out. Walmart trying to break to the next level, still hasn't come back to fill on the kind of the bounce there. What's up with costs? Man, that thing got all the way up to 9 today. What a move. Actually, 960s, 963. Big move there. What happened to Chewy? Oh, Chewy. I don't like you, man. I don't like you, Chewy. NVIDIA, yeah, rocketing, man. NVIDIA is just hot right now. That to me looks like a big buyer maybe coming in there.
I'm gonna check the news real quick and see if there's any.
There has to be something out there. Archer was one that was hot earlier. That's continuing.
NVIDIA is starting to act like its own asset class. That's hilarious.
It is, man. It is. It's a tell for rotation too, and certain growth outlooks. Like I wouldn't bet against it. I still think it could come down as you still see the other big names go up. But, man, Tesla was up there to 248, guys. What a absolute rocket. At first, it was going Tesla. Now it's going SpaceX, man. Holy moly. There was a launch this morning, man, at like 5 a.m. Tim, my whole house is just shaking. I'm like, SpaceX, come on, man, at 5 a.m.?
Tell Elon you'll short Tesla if he doesn't knock it off.
Hut coming back there, getting me out, guys. And what did I get out? The way that I was supposed to, man. This is what I didn't want to run into, guys. This is why running towards the profit that actually worked. There was a moment there where I could have maybe grabbed $80, $60, right? I was looking for the 100, maybe got a little greedy there. You got the $2 out, right? $2 out, making sure I'm staying in the green, still battling, up 130 on the day. And just going to continue to battle, team.
Now, this is really interesting. If I look on the capital trend for the day on NVIDIA, what I see here is, I'm going to hide the overall. If we look at this, so there's a big old spike in the small sizes, and that's just probably retail just following what they see there. But look at this. What you see is extra large has just been accumulating through the day. Large, there was a little bit of a sell, and now they're buying. And then medium, sold, and now that's a buy as well. But what I see here is big players just so far just moving into NVIDIA, which is very interesting. Everything else was just those fluctuations we were talking about and trend followers, I think. What do you think?
I mean, I think this has to do with more the idea that you're just going to continue to see tech be the leading area. I mean, they're just trying to buy the Magnificent Seven. I mean, that's what a lot of the money managers are doing. And why? Because it's working. I mean, is there really any reason to be out of these stocks? Like you roll through the top, guys. Is there any reason to be out of these stocks? No, man. They're just ripping.
No, interestingly, there was one. I'm going to see if I can find it here.
You know, from the top names, like I just go through these charts and there's what's bearish? Maybe AMD is not the biggest bullish one right now because it hasn't made that breakout. But even Adobe's coming back, CRM's coming back, SAP. I'm just running through the names and it's just bullish action, man. It's interesting. That extra $54 would have been nice. Yes, it would have, Bullseye. Do you think if you have a plan to hit a particular profit target, you sell early, it hurts you long term? It hurts your mentality. You know what I mean? It gives you the profits, and profits are profits, right, Tim? I mean, green is green, right? You ain't gonna be too mad at the end of the day when you end green, but will it hurt your mentality? Yes. Another thing to think about is when you start to trade a little bit too close, like taking too quick of profits, you could take one bad loss and it could ruin that, right? And so keeping that in the mentality, right? If you're gonna take quick profits, you might have to take even quicker exits and losses. So just to mention that, right?
And one of my sort of psychological gurus, I like his videos, Randy Howell. We watch his things. It's spelled with RANDE. It's interesting. We watch his things from time to time in the Discord, but you know, he talks about that too, like that being the converse of getting too euphoric and chasing it and having losses, which a lot of people do, is being scared to. We see that a lot. We talk about with our traders in the Discord too, like kind of being scared to hold it and cutting too early. But one of the other things that can happen is if you're down by the time it finally comes around to break even, you're so exhausted that you're just like, you know what, I'm back to break even. I'll take it and be thankful. And then it just keeps shooting the direction you thought and you're kicking yourself. So I think it depends a lot on the reason that you are aborting your plan early, right? Like if it's just, you know, if it starts to feel wrong, if you're looking at it and something changed in the market, if there's new data, that what I always ask myself is like, is there new data? If not, you know, stick with the plan. But if you start seeing something different in the market, and that can, you know, you can make use of your intuition, your gut feel, right? But if it's just, you know, getting anxious, getting bored, those are all the kind of things that we have to fight as traders. But on the flip side, you know, if you're not in a headspace for it and you cut it early because you don't have the wherewithal to deal with it that day, there's no shame in that. I should have done that yesterday. So.
Yeah, some profit taking looks like in Tesla now. The only question is, do you want to go after it on the 1 minute or the deeper time frame? The 1 minute shows it in head and shoulders top here. So I saw it on all the other action too, like the Tesla kind of leverage plays. They were showing up for just a second there, and now they're starting to take a hit there. So that's something to keep an eye open for as Tesla puts in that small little head and shoulders. Of course, this is on the 1 minute, so it's not as prominent, but we'll see what happens on this Tesla. For me, for entry, if I wanted to go off this 1 minute one, I'd be having to get in closer towards this 246 so that I could risk back into this spot, right? I have to give myself room with Tesla. That's one thing that I always think about. Walmart going into green there for me, guys. I'm not going to let it go back against me too much. I still got to stop here. I set the stop now at 67.96. I'm not going to get those ads. I only got the 200 shares because I just jumped on it. Now at that point, I just know my risk. $14 on the risk, guys. We'll see if we can make another 50, 60 bucks on this trade. I won't be mad. All right, looking around, guys, to see what's making the trades out there. Mara still struggling there, so HUT could come right back down. I just didn't want to fight it there, and that's another important thing. What's going on with NVIDIA? Wow. Yeah, it's NVIDIA, man. You know how it goes when it goes. This tells me AMD, let's go, baby. Let's go. I can't even, I don't want to double dip, right? Of course, I got this in the Swing account, but it looks interesting for me.
I did just buy some TSMC here. It looks like it's really starting to push. Went a little aggressive on the sizing, but I am shorting Tesla up here. The thing that concerns me with Tesla is just the fact that it's, it does have that gap that it can fill to close the morning gap up. You know what they say, every gap wants to be filled. And that gap is also just below 234.567. So make of that what you will. But my thought on what's going on here in general is like you might see maybe I wonder how much of this is shorts covering, right? And when they're done covering, what happens, right? Like as we get into the last hour or so, are we going to see just all this get sold off? So,
yep, definitely could happen, man. Looking around, guys, I'm seeing a lot of action, guys. It's about 10:58. Can you believe it, Tim? Can you believe it?
It has just been flying.
That's just how it goes sometimes, guys. And you're seeing costs come back down to $8. Walmart trades on there, guys. I might take one more trade, but I'm ready to wrap up the day, guys. I want to do a small little recap before we get out of here. So like always, guys, smash the like if you guys enjoy the action. And I know that you guys are enjoying the action. I see more and more of you guys on X, Twitter, joining us, tuning in. Do us a favor, guys. Jump into the YouTube side of things when you want to kind of jump in the chat. You guys see all the chat action. There's a big reason why they're on the YouTube side of things. You can still chat on X, but I know it's a little bit more difficult. You actually got to click onto the link. Then you'll get an ability to where you can put comments in. Smash the like, guys. We're going to keep going. It's been a great day overall. Tesla was a monster move overall. We've been looking at that for a long time. Going to continue to watch to see what happens, but you guys will see the look right now. Let's take a quick little recap, guys. Smash the like right here. Trade the pool, guys. All right, team, you guys see it here. The morning action, pre-market action really giving me that kind of gain. And you guys can see it here on Tesla. It took a while for me to take profits there. I was actually on this for about 12 minutes there. Was able to take a good amount of profits this morning on a little bit of a short on Tesla. Then I got caught in this VVPR. It's down to 248s now. So that just goes to show me sometimes you got to get out while the getting's good. 280s was my out there. Then bounce back in HUT. Was able to make a nice little trade on the short side of things. Did bounce out at this one. You guys can see it here. Short, took some profits. Was looking for 560s here at the 570 spot. Maybe got a little bit greedy with that remaining 400 shares. But there he goes. Not a bad move. It did stop me out back at the break-even spot right here, 15.96. Now starting to hold that 16, but could let it go later in the day. So we'll see what happens with that one. Definitely going to watch Mara to give me a little bit of a hint what's going on there. Of course, on the swing trade side of things, I still got my AMD and I got, of course, Palantir. We'll see what happens with some other trades there. I'm switching over so you guys can see it here. IMAX is in the red there for me. We'll see what happens with IMAX. Took a little bit of a swing trade on this one. We're going to hold down towards the kind of the 1670 spot. So that's kind of the risk right now. The 1670s would only be about $25 risk to 68. So I'll leave it there. We'll see what happens on this one. Palantir, that's my favorite stock, guys. That's the one I feel like I have a really good swing on that I'm trying my best not to sell the position because it continues to grind and grind higher. We'll see if we can get through the overhead supply that is in Palantir. Another AI stock too. Right? Let's go to Tim Outlook here and what you've been trading on today, Tim. Let us know.
So I'll just, due to time, I'll just kind of highlight these on the left. Most of these I've mentioned. I did take that big hit on ARM early in the day, and now that has just been running. So that's a case right there. I'll just call it there where on this initial breakout, I was right as it keeps going. But I really should have scaled into that, And you know what? If I had gotten in there for 150 shares, we can see that would have still been fine, right? But I had to do the 450, and then it came out down here, and I hit a stop. So making some of that up now, that's great. And then that Tesla TSM looks like I'm out. Let's see which there. So it looks like Tesla may have caught there, at least temporarily. And the rest, I'm going to just see how they play out. It looks like TSM is pushing, so that's good. Target continuing to drop. Not sure why. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, just going to watch these the rest of the day, see how they play out. And Hood looking like it might be time to flip short on that. So I think that's what I'll do and see how it turns out.
All right, guys, we'll see what happens, guys. Like always, smash the like. We'll keep getting after it, team. We'll be looking for some other trades like always. Keep going after it, traders, right here. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We'll keep battling. Thank you for joining me today, Tim. Smash the like. Hit that subscribe down below if you're not subscribed for any reason. And like always, do us a favor, guys. Hit that share button. Let's grow this community, a true community that can support you guys and really be behind you guys. We're all trying to root for each other's success. I hope that you're doing well out there. Bullseye, Noli, that came out of here early. That's what it's all about, guys. We'll keep battling together. We'll see you guys back in the morning. Tim, have a great one, my friend. We'll see you guys
too.
like always. Keep battling out there, traders. It's not one way, right? Yeah, happy 4th, Tim. Yeah, enjoy some fireworks out there, guys. I'll be grabbing a couple of brews. Tim, you got some good plans for 4th of July?
Just going to hang out, actually. Just tidy up. We've just been catching up on some
nothing
things.
Like a good little rest day. So you guys enjoy that. We'll be
grill
back
some Beyond Burgers.
Ooh, Beyond Meat.
BYND. So
yeah, we got to talk about that story next time. All right, guys, you guys smash the like. We'll see you guys. Hit the like, guys. Trade the Pool out for today. We'll be back on Friday.